Hello and welcome back. Here we are. It is time to get into some day 2 action. Of course, right here, brought to you by the ever lovely Ometal Network. And of course, we're getting into the Ometal Pro League. Yesterday, we had some very, very exciting games, didn't we, Max?
Yes, that we didn't have the chance to see. Unfortunately so, but they happened, and that's what's important. We'll have to try and keep you guys updated as to what happened yesterday in day 1. Even though today's day 2, but we could... Do we call today day 1.5 or something? We could go in the middle, you know? It's we didn't have a real day 1, so we'll be in the middle. But of course, now coming into these next 4 games, I'm going to see how the standings can try and move up a little bit. But you know what? Before doing anything, I think it's good for us to check out the standings a little bit as to what happened yesterday and to update people is what happened during those 4 games, because we had some pretty big domination by a few of the top teams. So I think that will be the next point to go on, DK, that I think that the people enjoy to know exactly what's going on right now, because it's mayhem. And you can see on the standings here, Footballist took home. Oh no, so I got to say it properly. Footballist. That's how you do it. Mustache Dave, love you, man. That's how you say it. Footballist secured himself 2 wins in the entirety of those 4 games yesterday. 50% of the games come into their name. And of those 4 games, 26 smackaroonies in terms of kills and 72 points total. That is a big showcase coming up from Footballist here, I would clearly say, DK, and we'll see if they can keep on going on this second day of the Ometal Pro League.
Yeah, definitely looks like a really strong performance that we had across the board yesterday. I mean, that is just 4 games that have been played, but it seems like it was a bit of a rough run there for the team, of course, from Guns, Rico Infinity, and Fate. You know, so just looking at those points, things seem to have been a little bit tougher than yesterday. So they obviously have then today to try and make up for that, you know, get back into it, get back into the swing of things. And, you know, what's so exciting about this is the opportunity where the teams can, you know, get a kind of hang of what it's going to be like if they compete against these exact same teams over in the EMEAs.
That's going to be the real competition, right? For a lot of these potential teams also, this is the first time that they're going to be playing on this kind of scale. So it's really good time for these kind of tournaments and scrims to also try and gather that experience and get prepared as much as they possibly can. So I like it. I like seeing a few of these teams definitely step up in big ways. A few teams will struggle, of course. I think that Na'Vi is definitely the weird one when you go to the second side of this rankings page, not really expecting them to be potentially this slow, but you know what? It's okay. It's back to PMGC League stage where Na'Vi struggled to qualify in 2 of the Super Weekends, and they qualified to the last 2 Super Weekends, and actually were able to make it work out. So Na'Vi, not a team that tend to pop off at the very start, but the longer it goes, the more comfortable they get in the lobby itself. Yeah, Panda, 12-18 gave himself a win each. Panda, from what I recall, they won the very first game of yesterday, which is a big way for them to start. But that means you see their point, 39 points, 21 kills. Goes to show that they got a majority of those potential points from that 1 game alone. So I'm looking at Panda to be a little bit more consistent coming into this one. But still, as a team that has their very first international kind of experience with this tournament, I'm expecting big things, but I'm not going to be too harsh on them because I know they're still testing the waters and seeing how they can adapt to this lobby. So very good start. 4th position after 4 games on day 1 of the Ometal Pro League is still a very big show up from this team.
Yep, definitely has been. And of course, you know, we have a schedule that we're going to be running through, the sequence of maps that we are going to be going through for today. And of course, the first map up is going to be Erangel. So we're going to start things off over on Erangel, get just a bit of a flow on the things there, just make our way on through. But actually, it seems like we'd be actually heading over towards Miramar first up. Ooh. So we might be mixing it up a little bit, starting with Miramar, then potentially Sanhok up in the second one, and then possibly maybe Erangel Miramar once again, seeing that this is you know, kind of the schedule that we had for yesterday's games. Yes, definitely, indeed, today is going to be the one. There we go. All right, so now yeah, I am 100% aware of that.
We got 100. We got 100. I was like, wait, we've got a different map schedule here. It's Miramar, Sanhok, Erangel, Miramar. So we're going to have a double Miramar to start and end the day. That means that normally, if things go as normal, we should have some Sanhok happening twice tomorrow. Unfortunately, so, but we're going to be ending on Sanhok, the jungle map. Though, the game is rolling right now, so I propose we go right into the game itself and see how this first Miramar of the day is going to start. And we could almost call it the first Ometal Pro League game that we're actually going to be witnessing with our very eyes. So here we go. This is game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, of day 2 of the Ometal Pro League. Back on the desert map. I'm going to see the plane path popping up right now. Not too shabby. Very focused onto the eastern and southeastern side of Miramar. So it could very easily facilitate a few teams that like to drop in that location. I know as a fact that Panda like to drop in Valdemar, so they could very easily facilitate that rotation and that plane path drop location for themselves. But yeah, otherwise, I don't know if you have, especially with a few Arabic teams that you covered here, DK, but teams that might be almost advantaged by this plane path coming their way.
Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting. You know, like things could go kind of it's difficult to say whether or not the teams are going to stick to those drop locations, which we of course know they like to frequent, which you've seen them push up into time and time again over on towards the BMPL Arabia. They might just be trying waters a different but differently, just looking to see if there is any potential different spot drop locations they could be moving on into. As for instance, on Miramar, we know the players there from Guns, of course, like to head on over in towards El Pozo. But as we can see, at the current moment, El Pozo is not exactly within reach. So it is going to be a little bit of a difficult one to reach all the way over towards. But now, as also, if we look over towards the players there coming in from Fate, they also then like to frequent a little bit more of that Chumacero with Los Leones being their old drop spot. And of course, that is right where they went, and which finds them in a smack dab center position within this first zone.
I'm loving how all the CIS teams are smack dab straight down south. You got Na'Vi, you got 1218, and you got yourself also Kanina Power. Once again, we said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again today. Kanina Alga in the chat for this one to see what Kanina Power can try and pull through. I'm surprised by such a widespread coming out from Na'Vi, but this is why these tournaments and scrims are very interesting, because they can just adjust if needed. So far, no one's going to contest that position for Na'Vi, so they are looking pretty golden right now. Destiny, not a usual drop location for them. This is something that they don't usually do, but they know they had to adapt on the long term, so they're going to go for a big wide spread, 4-man spread to be completely exact, on the northeastern side of the map towards Campo Militar. But here we go. We're going to get towards the nitty-gritty, but no early action, which I'm surprised, DK, is actually happening. Then this is, even though we did have one Miramar game yesterday, but this quickly, having no big hot drops happening, I think is a big showcase of how good these teams to be able to adapt on a very short-term notice.
Yeah, and what I really like about the Miramar map is just looking at the size of it. It really gives those teams a little bit of the ability to just, extend themselves slightly over the map. But of course, right off the gate, we have the players here from Kanina Power stepping up into the side there of Panda, bringing in the action. Wow, this is a nice way to start it off already. Great show of aggression here.
I mean, Panda, why are you pushing that? I'm not going to lie. You do not have the high ground position. You have nowhere to defend yourself. And the other side, you have Kanina Power that maybe they were not... They were just trying to test the waters and trying to take a fight. And I respect that. That's good. You're trying to see exactly how the lobby is going to respond to your presence next to Los Niños. Though it was clearly a bad choice because of the terrain. You're pushing as a 2-man engage. Lin and Katu are not going to be in that position. Very surprising. But Panda are a team that learn a lot, right? And they talked about it. This is a great learning opportunities for all these teams. But Kanina Power here, DK. Okay, be careful. Slid down a little bit, but they are on the push. They spotted them out from a distance. Thanks to the 2 other players. They might be hungry for the kills now.
Yeah, and of course, they're stepping right into that opportunity, looking to pick up any of those points they can, of course, find across the way. And a nice bit of definitely a nice bit of aggression that we see here. I mean, I've seen Kanina Power be aggressive in past games, but this is just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Seeing them step up right out the gate, bringing the gameplay. And of course, we're looking to see what the teams are going to be doing, whether or not we're going to have that momentum kind of start building up as they roll on through. And now, of course, we look over towards the players here from Godsend as we can see them now making their way over in towards Picado. So again, a few interesting drop locations, but I'm more curious to see where the next phase is going to be taking us.
Yeah, the next phase, exactly. It didn't have too much time to really spot exactly what's happening in terms of circle shifts. That is why when I'm doing tournaments, I'm always a little bit sad when it's not an official PUBG Mobile Team one, because I don't have my own dedicated little map screen. I can just draw on my screen like, oh, they're going to rotate this way. It's really fun. Can't do it now, so we'll have to speculate and guess a little bit what's about to happen here. It's going to be seeing Guns sending himself forwards with a tag of frags, just so you guys don't get a little too confused. But it seems like Guns are getting confused a little bit. This terrain is not very easy with the party bus to roam around, so they're going to have to make their way into El Pozo itself, which there's already one team in El Pozo, which is why I'm surprised. They're just going in full willy-nilly. Willy-nilly? Both work, is whatever. It's supposed to be a word, like a placeholder. But they're going for the push in this compound when you're not sure exactly what's there. I think it's a little bit risky. Luckily, no one contested that rotation, but they made a lot of noise. And there's one team nearby that might have spotted them, and that is going to be next Ruya. They have heard it, and now they're aware a team is going to be trying to contest this compound of El Pozo, so they need to be on full level alert now.
Yeah, definitely going to have to be pretty wake up to find these engagements. And of course, you know, I've seen the players from Guns really bring in a strong bit of aggression, but you know, it's definitely interesting to see all these teams going toe to toe over in a little bit of an unfamiliar scene. You know, having to venture out against teams that come in with a completely different meta, different way of approaching the game. So far, just looking at what we've seen on the overall leaderboards, you know, things are looking pretty interesting. And of course, now the team here from Next Ria making ready to move on up, putting a quick few shots up in the direction, of course, of the team there from Guns. So quite a bit of potential still in the mix, looking to see who's going to be picking that up. And a nice, you know, a nice quick swift movement as well coming in there from them.
This is the main issue that was with that rotation coming out from Guns. It's a compound, you know, there's a very big chance that there's going to be a team in there, especially very early on. Like, phase 1 is not even closed, and they instantly go for that rotation inside a compound, and they go for a widespread too. If you encounter a team, they're going to be stacked on top of each other because they hear you coming from a mile away. So, yeah, I'm very surprised, and I'm not enjoying how Guns play that early game, but that's cool. They're going to learn over time. This is not something that's going to work for you long term, and hoping that they're going to try and fix it. As Rauf is going to go on top of the roof. Rauf, I haven't seen this guy in a while, but I remember back when I casted him in the first few MENA kind of tournaments. That guy is absolutely popping if given the right weapon and the right circumstance. So he's definitely one of the players to look out for. And so will Frozen, actually, for Lost Ruya. They're back in their own respective PMPL. He was one of the MVPs, which is very interesting. We had 2 PMPLs happening, one in Turkey and one in CIS. Both MVPs from those 2 regions, actually, DK, are both called Frozen. So take of that which you want, but Frozen is a pretty good name, apparently. It's meta.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, Rauf also, he was pretty strong in the PMPL Arabia. You know, being right up there. In fact, there was one point where the whole team from Guns actually featured in the top players of the day.
Oh, really?
So there's a lot of potential coming in on the Guns side. So I'm definitely curious to see how they're going to be handling themselves. And it's good to see the players here from Next Ria spreading themselves out, just trying to take as many different angles as they can. Of course, we can see Yekta just there on the side. Frozen, as you've pointed out, just up ahead. And Nihat now just making a little bit of a move in and around the compound here, looking to see if they can find that angle, but also possibly finding that angle on towards Rauf.
Yeah, just a little few pot shots coming out from a distance. Nothing really substantial, I would clearly say here. Things are pretty laid back for the time being. Ralph is just there scouting, giving the information over to the rest of his team, while they're just on the back end over to the western side of this compound of El Pozo, and just, I think, still looting, which is relatively late looting. You're about to hit the 9-minute mark into this game. I think you should be maybe done with that looting stage, especially when you rotated late into El Pozo. I think they should be done so with that and trying to maybe look for a better location. Because El Pozo is not in circle, and when you know another team is here, I would try and avoid that fight, because even if you do win it, the blue zone could be a relatively big issue for you. Now we're going to be roaming to another side of the map, a little bit more centralized. This is going to be towards Los Leon. Oh no, it's going to be Chuma setup position. There we go. I have to recognize the terrain in the background, as we have no big mini map for us. It's Footballists. They're going to be pushed upon, currently first in the standings here, DK, but they're going to be contested by World of Wonders, as Zessi is going for big aggressive push.
Yep, let's see now whether or not Lutz will be able to find any of these shots. Of course, now just cooking up the nades. And, I mean, we've seen quite a strong util usage coming in. But, of course, the shots, they're finding their way through on towards Lutz. As Zessi moves up on the side there, coming in with a nice side angle on towards the players here from Footballers. But now, World of Wonders looking to set up the nades in return. And, of course, now Rom steps up. Oh! But Zessi holds on. Beautiful shots.
Yeah, nice little plays there with a high ground position. He's going to be smoking it up to get his fallen teammates up and ready to go. Lovazin will be able to secure himself his team a little bit of a rest, so they should be feeling pretty comfortable. As now on the top right of your screen, we can finally have a quick look-sees as to where the map is going to be moving towards. What the map? The circle, should I say? That's a big send it forward coming out from Recent from World of Wonders. And we've got a little bit of a refresh there on the view. I don't know what's happening. Maybe he died. Maybe he got the kills. Who knows? We'll see once it's going to be back on our screens. And there you go. Still going to continue on going for the push. Lovazin's going to go extremely low. Recent really trying to push it down. Hits another bullet right through the window. But he's trying to move away from that position. Will he have enough time to get the first aid? Recent knows he hurt so many bullets right there. So he needs to try and close off that fight right now. He goes for the engage, and Lovazin does get it done right after hitting that first aid kit. And now he can have a chance to res up his team, and he takes another shot. Sulke joins the party and keeps the squad alive as World of Wonders drop down dead here, DK, and will get eliminated in 15th.
What a show, what a show. And of course, now we see the players here from Na'Vi and 4KT going toe-to-toe, head-to-head. 4KT already having one of their players knocked out. As you can see, Pronto getting sent back into the lobby. Storm, rather, now just waiting up ahead, looking to make a play. And I only see one player from 4KT here. I wonder where the rest of the squad is, because now going up against Na'Vi, this is quite a bit of a challenge. And you can see Storm now just tactically trying to rotate out of that one. Of course, Storm is the last remaining player for the team, so any potential distance he can put between himself and Na'Vi will be absolutely essential if they want to make it into those later phases.
Yeah. Well, you asked the question, right? And you're like, wait, where are the teammates of Storm? I'm going to tell you right now, they're dead. So he's not going to have backup this time around. And also, I mean, it's Storm, right? From Slime 4KT coming in hot from the African PMCO. This guy does not need a team. I mean, it's cool to have, don't get me wrong, but this guy can take care of himself if needed be. Though this is Na'Vi, and I would clearly say from what they did in PMGC, this is not a very easy team to take down. Though Tixie, one of the most aggressive players, has been taken down early on. He was the first casualty. Storm 4KT spotted onto the side by Boy MVP, and that, well, Boy MVP, sorry, Old Boy. I'm so not used to seeing an MVP in his name, but he is the true MVP. As that's going to be it. Slime 4KT, the African team, will drop out in 14th position. A few skirmishes now started to happen as we went into phase 2, but back into our pods itself is DK. The fight of guns versus Neuroya is going to be continuously going on forward.
This is quite interesting to see the teams hanging around in the blue zone, you know, quite so late into the zone. We have the second phase already in place, so we're heading up into that third phase, but the shots now are flying in, as we can see Lord and the rest of the players here from Guns now just wrapping up the fight. They're taking out the players there, of course, now just making sure that they can move on and potentially get themselves back up in towards zone. They have quite a bit of a challenge up ahead of them. It is quite a bit of distance to cover to make it up into zone successfully, but of course they did lose one player in the process. But now as we head on over in towards Los Leones, we can see one of the players here from 1218 perched right on the edge of the cliff, looking over towards Fade, hoping to find that opening and that potential angle onto the side of them. And as we know, that could be quite potent.
Yeah, GG Sucks is going to be in a relatively good position. He's mainly not going to be there to be aggressive, I think, unless the team wants to follow up in that position. But he's just there to keep an eye out, know what's going on inside this position of Los Leones, and get the intel for his team, especially. That's going to be the main idea for him, to know exactly if they're pushing out. And if they do push out of that position and try and go east, west, or even down south, he's the one that's going to be gathering that information, feeding it to the rest of his team to get a strong defensive position and try and capitalize on as many frags as possible. So that's going to be the game plan for TT Sucks for 12-18. Once again, from CIS, this team has been pretty consistent when it gets to qualifying for these big and major tournaments. They've done it in the past. And they're making it happen once again in 2021, which I'm a pretty big fan of. But you know what? Talking about being a fan of someone, and a team especially, the team of which DK is a fan of here, Destiny, is going to be on screen as they're taking a big fight versus Team Unique.
And definitely an interesting angle to see them in. And of course, Unique now already sitting down to 3 players. We got the team there from Destiny just up ahead. Mihi and Co. Mazzaro now looking to pick up a few hits. Of course, Mind keeping a very watchful angle up on the hill. Beast now getting knocked out. Quick shot, quick hit coming in on the side there of Unique. And of course, now Mazzaro just down below, the few hits flying up in his direction as Beast now gets confirmed. Mishi now also just waiting patiently on the edge of the ridge. But a nice circle maneuver that we see coming in actually here from Destiny. One of the players moving up just the top of the players of Unique. Now that could be quite a beneficial angle should we see Noshi being able to capitalize on that. Frozen, of course, now the health being taken super low. Just now looking to pick up the final hit and get that first knock in. And I think once that knock actually comes in, that could potentially open things up for Destiny to get a little bit more aggressive and maybe move in looking for a few kills.
I want to say, talking about kills, the Killfeed at one point popped off pretty heavily, and I believe Na'Vi just got eliminated in 12th, so they took themselves a really big fight, not going their way, unfortunately, but they did lose Tixie, as I mentioned, one of the most aggressive players, so I think that's pretty much game over for Na'Vi coming into this one. Now another fight. Great grenade coming out from Ragnar. Pops the head off of Azzy, apparently, with that big boy explosion. The circle's about to shift. Not really expecting a Los Leones finish. It seemed like it will be just a more high ground kind of finish onto the southern coastal line, which I think is good. You got some teams that have decent positions. Kanina Power off the back of that fight with Panda are looking pretty good. But it's actually going to go for a more northern-western shift, which I was not really expecting coming into this. A portion of Los Leones is still into play. Could be going to the advantage of the likes of Footballist and Fate, even potentially Godsent. But for that to happen, they need to win this fight versus Khalid and Ragnar, as they're going to be nading this bad boy up. The res was taken by Godsent back as a 4-man crew, but Reeves, you got to really look out for this one, DK. Has a great position on that warehouse a little bit further over to the west, to the east of this fight. So he could actually gather a lot of valuable information, even potentially take some really good shots on both Khalid and Ragnar. But Godsent, you can see their utility coming their way. They're having a real hard time to hold it. But Vito, he's going wide. He's going for the spread. He wants to create an off-angle pressure onto R8T, which I'm loving that play. But see, like, okay, I take it back. He's gone. He's leaving. You're like, sorry, guys, you're on your own now. I'm going to go for the angle from a really far distance. But understandably so. He doesn't want to get naded. He doesn't want to get hit by any kind of utility. So that wide off angle could actually be detrimental to the win condition of Godsent. But, oh, Axa, he gets it right done. And actually, no, it's not Axa. The kill feed is messing with me because it's pixelized. It looks like Minecraft on my end, but that's okay. But Reese gets taken down by one player of Fate. So not a good look and not a good start for Godsent in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to the whole, Arabia region. They are just on point with those utils. If you are within range, you're going to see them fly your way. And of course, that is exactly what we saw onto the side here of Godsent. But of course, now we had that quick disengage. But in the meantime now, we see, of course, the players there from 12-18 just moving up on it to the side. And Vito looking to find a few hits, but of course, not really committing to that engagement just yet. It seems like it's a little bit more just like warning shots, not fully sending them out just yet. But things are going to get pretty tough over onto this eastern side of the zone, especially. Looking at, the whole Los Leones region that we have here, so many potential angles for teams to move in. And of course, we already now see the players from Unique and Fate both taking up a position right there alongside each other.
Yeah, a little bit of a skirmish happening for these two teams. Fate is going to have a little bit of a nice southern position compared to the opposing team of Team Unique. Team Unique, by the way, an org that's been present since mid-2019, even early 2019, and it's been good. They have some highs and lows coming into this DK without any question. But it's good to see that they're trying to continuously get himself back on their high horse and get himself in a good position. And yeah, I think that's good. Seeing some orgs that are continuously going to try their best in the competitive scene of PUBG Mobile is always an amazing thing to see and witness. As Unique, they understand. We're kind of pinched here, DK. We don't know how to move away from this one from Fate. This is not looking too comfortable. The nades and the mollies are flying by. As Analyst, be careful. AKM going to be for the pre-fire. Hit some really good shots from Carry Boy. Really carrying a big portion of that one-on-one versus Analyst. He's going to go down and seem like now they're getting close again, once again, to prop some utility forward. Get through the windows, you might know. Get himself an extra knock or two, or even just some small damage to try and use some utility and some resources, especially in terms of meds of Team Unique. This fight is going on for ages, and you can see from the west, from the north, there's a small mini third party, especially from NASR Esports. They're shown the top of its head very, very slowly but surely. So if this fight ends, it might not be completely over, as the team could try and capitalize and snatch away a few kills in that game.
I can tell you it's going to be interesting. I mean, especially for Unique, being caught in between Fate and NASA, two of the teams from Arabia. I mean, they like those utils. As we've seen now, they just send in utils before they pull the trigger. Like, it's so interesting to watch them go about that. And of course, speaking of the Arabia region, we can see now the players there from Rico Infinity getting hit here by 12-18 as they find one of the players and of course send the hit straight up in towards them. But we still have Ragnar and Qtel now making their rotations along that southern edge of the zone. So they're of course looking to set themselves up for the next phase. find a good position, fortify it, and then potentially try and defend it as best they can. But now, hopping right back up in towards Los Leones, we can see Unique and Fate now exchanging a few shots between each other, as of course Frozen now getting caught in crossfire, as Lathe now looks to find that angle. Carry Boy, of course, getting knocked out in the process. But now, here we go. Mind and Frozen applying the pressure, comes rushing in to the mix. Lathe gets taken down and confirmed. Quick play, but of course now Trump moving up just a little bit further up from the northern angle. Ragnarok cooking those nades up, sending them in, looking to pick up a little bit of damage. But of course now NASA right there on the side. They could potentially see them move in for that third party, but of course now Fate quickly trying to dispose of the molly. It is a bit of a hot seat, but now Unique still looking strong, sitting on 3 players just up ahead, cooking up those utils, sending them in. Trump getting hit in the process. This is a really spicy fight, but of course, I mean, there's so many more still to come. But let's see now. Oh, Fate running into the wrong side of Unique there, as Unique turns their attention on to the side of Fate, and of course they get eliminated, meeting their fate and heading back into the lobby to wait for the next round. But now NASA moving up to Cedar, 2 teams that are very accustomed to fighting against each other, so this is going to be an interesting exchange.
Yeah, for Unique, only Milky Way was actually taken down, but as you said, another fight is going to be showing the top of its head very ugly. So in this fight, it's going to be Guns Esports trying to get involved with the Real Tide Esports also. NASI could go with that one too. Just a lot of utilities going to be traded off. Some, especially Smoke's going to allow SGR to try and play and roam a little bit more in the unknown, which I like that kind of approach from them. But the main issue with these positions is especially NASR playing in dips. That means that if you chuck some utility, nades especially, it's going to very easily connect. So I would recommend to try and move away from this position. It is somewhat risky, and you're just next to the circle, so get into the circle. That's 50% of the job done, and then you should be good to go. But here you go. CIS versus CIS is going to be Kanina Power versus 1218. That's 1218 here. DK, very clearly so, do not have the advantage, as Pioneer is going to be trying to actually make his way downhill, but that is not something I would recommend, as 1218 will very easily punish that, as TT Sucks is pushing up, and the fight should be coming up very shortly so between these 2 teams.
Oh, that is definitely an uphill battle. And of course now, oh, Fashi getting knocked out in the process. Beautiful play here by TT Sucks as they move up the hill. But of course now 1218 just spreading themselves out along the edge. Kadina Power comes in, picks up the knock in the process. Gonzo and Nomi now still left to make a play here. As you can see them now looking to find an advance onto the side of 1218. And of course now Gonzo stepping up, looking to pick up that hit on towards Gonavor. Now, this is where things are going to get pretty spicy. Both teams up on the top of the hill. We got TT Sucks right alongside Gonzo.
That's the only comment you need. That is perfect description of what's going on there. I mean, Godsend, I'm going to say their position is pretty, you know, it's pretty damn good. They're in a really strong spot. I can't quite see the terrain, but I do believe they got themselves a little bit of a high ground, so they can very easily kind of pressure teams around them and zone them out. So I think that should be a pretty decent spot. Indeed, they got a little bit of a higher ground position, but there's still that hill top that's right next to them that I think would be even more valuable. You got some dips to hide the cars. I think it would be strong to play around. But Lovazin, the one-man army here from Footballist from Turkey, he's going to be going for the engage, the initiation on NASR. NASR, they're kind of just all nice and cuddling up towards this shack. The shed position is not the most enjoyable one, but Destiny in the back end here, DK, are going to get involved, are going to go for a sneaky third party, as that's a great shot connecting right onto Reeves. And man, this is starting to go downhill for the side of Godsend, it seems.
Yeah, that is some pretty on-point shots. Of course, Nanasa getting caught in the crossfire right in between the footballers and Destiny on that opposing side. And of course, now the team from Godsend just patiently waiting in on that position, a little bit more centralized. But now, Soulgate drops down in the vehicle. Nabo now looking to pick up the kills. Oh, down he goes as well.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Destiny, man. Destiny, they love themselves playing these positions. That's the issue, though. Godsend, if they would have gone straight for that hilltop position, I saw it. I was like, it's a decent spot to play from, but you could go a little bit further, right? And I think that they were just a little bit, no, I wouldn't say scared, but they're a little bit doubtful, because if they did go for that position, by then NASR, by also a bunch of other teams coming for the southern edge. So I understand it was a little bit risky. It was an attempt to go for sure. It was a full send it, but They didn't do so. Destiny got there first, and when you get there first, you have priority, and when you have priority, you have strong positions, and that most of the time will result in you taking the game. Though, Moji, back with the Car 98 here, taking a few lower one taps, trying to sneak an extra sneaky knock or two here and there. But 12-18, TT Suck's going to be taken down to the blue zone, eliminated in 5th. And now, DK, we finally have our top 4 teams remaining at the end here. Kanina Power, Godsent, Guns, and also Destiny from the Western Europe PMPL that ended just about a week ago. And they were able to secure themselves a 2nd spot. So they're looking amazing to close off this first game.
Oh, I mean, Kanina Power also just stepping it up. I mean, I've seen them last in the Savernic EU League, and they were absolutely amazing in that. And now, once again, they do not disappoint. They step up, they bring the play. But it's going to be interesting to see which 3 teams make it through this phase and get on into that difficult angle to fight it up. Because, I mean, Guns absolutely insane. But of course, now Daisy steps up. Steps up, finds the hit, an easy silver platter performance right there. But of course, now Destiny up on the hill, already having 2 players knock. Nashi looking to make that play, but here comes the players from Godsend. Oh, there we go. Rauf picks one up, but of course, Vito steps up, blaming himself. The king of the hill, picking up the shots. But of course, now Nashi trying to pull off that res. Here they come. Who's gonna get it?
Man, that is such a good rotation coming out from Kanina Power. They waited for the fight to break out between Guns and also Godsend, so they would sneak around the northern eastern edge, and it was amazing. Now the push is time to take away the crown off of Destiny. They were the king of the hill, but no more, as it's going to be Destiny taken down. Kanina Power versus Godsend in the 2 last finishing teams. I have 2v2 currently as Reznov, the sub of the team, just got knocked down on this I was going to say 4 knees. You only have 2 of those, but on his knees and hands. As the utility is going to be traded off, Reznov might be brought back into the action and make it a 3v2. But Nomi, he's going for the engage. Vito with that third-person perspective has the information, takes the shot, and doesn't get the knock just yet. There's a very, very close attempt. As ready to back it up, Vito gets the knock on one of the players of Kanina Power and secures the double to close it off. And that's going to be none other than Godsent themselves, the team from the Western European PMPL, securing game number 1 of day 2 of the Ometal Pro League.
I mean, that was absolutely beautifully executed. The way they just moved in on that final zone, just coming in with such ease, finding those angles. And I mean, that was pressure at its best. I mean, you're fighting on the top of the hill.
5 kills for Vito and 4 for Azzy.
Yeah, dude, it's
like, bro, we chilling. We chilling.
But still, I mean, just looking at the way they handled themselves, just casually strolling on in. Well, not casually, but you get what I'm saying. Is like, they didn't seem to be too fazed by what was happening in front of them. They handled themselves in the situation, just swooped in. But I got to give it to Kanina Power, as you said. That rotation, that movement in on there, just bouncing at the right moment, beautifully executed.
Hey, Nomi, I didn't know you, but now I know you, man. You can truly say people know me, because that was one hell of a performance of this guy. Even though very clearly they didn't take themselves to win, that's a 2nd position, so 12 points in terms of positioning points come into their name. I think that was an outstanding rotation. Knowing this team also took a 4v4 versus Panda, came out of that fight early on as a 4-man crew, got all of the loot off of Panda off of that fight, and took full control, what I would very clearly say here, TK, of the southern edge of the circle. I think they played amazingly well. And even under pressure, they had one of the best rotations. Because I mentioned it, even though I was going very fast because the action was unfolding, I had to go quick. They had the fight that was going down between, I believe it was Guns then, and also Godsent. They were trying to fight for the hilltop held on by Destiny. And Destiny were hearing those shots coming down from that western side. They were trying to get involved in third party, which is what we mentioned. That is a very strong position to use for, which is going to be for third parties and zoning teams away. Kanina Power just using their 2 brain cells. Well, they got way more. I say 2 brain cells. I got 2 brain cells, okay? But they connected a minimum effort of thought process into it. Like, well, they're fighting. Circle has a lot of free space right up northeast. How about we rotate there and just contest and backstab Destiny and just make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Instead of peanut butter jelly, it's just going to be a Destiny sandwich. And you're done. And they get one of the strongest positions off the back of that. I think that's a good showcase of Destiny understanding good positions, but also Kanina Power rotating extremely well. It was like chef's kiss. It was amazing. And that is the time where you say, DK, okay, Kanina Power Alga. There you go. They said it. It is time to say Alga again, because these guys are nutty. when it comes down to timing, especially.
Yeah, I mean, that was an absolute nutty performance coming in from them and super impressive stuff. But of course, I wasn't expecting anything less coming in from Canino Power. You know, as we said yesterday in our lovely chat we were having, of course, you know, Canino Power being one of those dark horse teams. And man, that they step up and bring the heat, bring the action. But of course, we are going to be continuing with the action as we head on over in towards Erangel. So we'll be back with that in a short few minutes. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we'll see you guys back after the break. Hello guys and welcome back. Of course, we're getting ready to move into the second match, of course, taking us over on towards the lovely pastures there of course, the Sandhawks. So we're going to be looking to see what the map is going to be bringing, and of course what the players themselves will be bringing to the table as we move in and we get into that hot mess, which is of course going to be Sandhawk. But we also have a nice update on our standings. So before we get into the match, let's quickly jump into the standings. Of course, now, as we can see right here, this is looking pretty tight. We got the footballers sitting right up in pole position, sitting there on 2 chicken dinners, and of course 85 points. We got the players, of course, from Kanina Power in second, Team Unique in third. We got 12-18 over in fourth, Godsend in fifth. The players there from next, Ryu sitting up in towards that 6th place, Destiny over in 7th, Panda over in 8th place. We've got Slimefork AT in 9th, NASA in 10th, Suda in 11th. We've got Navi, of course, in 12th place, Guns in 13th, World of Wonders in 14th. The players from Rico Infinity over in 15th place, and of course Fate sitting up in 16th place. But of course, well, yeah, we're about to get into the game in a short few moments to see exactly what the teams are going to be bringing in on the Sandhawk map. So, but Max, I mean, from what we've seen already, just looking at Miramar, expecting it to be pretty hot.
Miramar is a pretty hot map. So you would be right on that fact. You know, if you check out the weather over there, I'm sure it's pretty damn spicy when you look at it that way. Actually, I want to request something. Can we go back to the standings real quick? Because we want to elaborate something that I find very interesting when you compare to where we were at the start of today, ladies and gentlemen, which is Kanina Power. Before that last game, they were actually standing in 7th position. So at the bottom side of the first half of these teams currently, or what you would call normally the first page, or the first on the bottom part of the first page of these rankings. And now they jumped up in 2nd position in 1 game alone, because before that they're 35 points, now climbing up to 58. That is an insane jump up coming out from Kanina Power. And I think that does deserve a lot of recognition. It's a really strong showcase from them on this first Miramar game alone. And yet, footballists, really happy to see they were able to get themselves some consistent points, knowing that they actually died into the mid-game of this one back on Miramar here, DK. 85 points. They started off today with 72, so they actually climbed up a pretty significant margin. So footballists, is good to see that even when they do not get big banger games, they're still able to get some consistent results that allows them to solidify their spot in first place. But though I do have to say, UK, if they get another win throughout these next 3 games, they are looking very easily as the favorite when it comes down to holding this first position until the end of this Ometal Pro League tournament.
Yeah, I mean, that was really an impressive performance. And I mean, we could be seeing, like you said now, you know, if they sneak in a few more, they could sit right there looking pretty comfortable. But of course, you know, still looking to see what the teams a little bit lower on that leaderboard is going to be doing as well. I mean, looking to see what Guns, World of Wonders, Rico Infinity, and Fate will be bringing in the remaining games of the day. Of course, we've got 3 more to go. So definitely hoping to see the teams just surprise us, you know, again, bringing that Dark Horse play into the mix. Of course, already some of your Dark Horse teams that you've pointed out are sitting right up at the top there in 2nd place. Kanina Power, we're just calling them the Horse team.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for calling them the Dark Horse because they're a great team. I just was messing around and talking about their logo, right? But in a sense, when you look at this entire lobby, you're looking at your footballists, you're looking at your Navis. I was expecting those two to very clearly be the top teams, which in that case of footballists did become reality. And Navi's been a little bit, I would say, a little bit lackluster from what we've seen so far in this Ometal Pro League tournament. So I'm expecting a little bit more coming out from Navi. But you know what? I'm sure they'll get there eventually, trying to adjust their drop locations, how they rotate around the map, and learning about the pathings of other teams. I think we should be good to go. Though, and I think we can go back to camera real quick to talk about the bad news, because we do have some bad news for you guys at home, which is that this match is indeed being redone. The lobby is going to be restarted, unfortunately for us. So we have a little bit of a restart and recap of what happened yesterday. Hopefully the games do actually happen at the end. So I think myself and DK will head on over to a very short break, and we'll be back in just a bit for our 2nd game of the day. Once again, it's going to be back on Sandhawk. Our apologies once more for the delay, but we'll be back into the game as quickly as we possibly can.
Hello guys and welcome back. Of course, we're getting ready to move over into our second match of the day, which will be taking us over in towards Sanok. So we've already looked at the overall standings up to date, and of course now we're going to be jumping straight into the match to see what the teams are going to get up to, and of course who's going to be moving where on that leaderboard. So without further ado, here we go straight up into the action over on towards Sanok. And of course now, Max, this is going to be pretty exciting as we've already seen a pretty stellar performance coming in on Miramar. Now looking to see what will happen on Sanok. This is that aggressive map, and I'm hoping to see quite a bit of that.
Yeah, going to be pretty interesting to see, of course, when you're looking into this one. One of the very clear favorites in my eyes has to be Destiny Heat DK, because they were the team that got 6 wins on Sanok itself, showing that there is a method to the madness when you are playing on Sanok itself, back in the Western European PMPL. So that's a tournament that I've had the chance to cover as an analyst for the past month now. Just to say, I'm not taking the information nearly willy, I would clearly say, because they've shown real consistency on the map, which is not the easiest thing to do. But typically, they like to drop on the northwestern side of the map, which right now is going to be held down by Na'Vi. And Destiny are like, well, our drop location that was never contested in Western Europe is now contested. What do we do? But it seems like they got a plan. They're going to go to the eastern side of the northwestern island, and they're going to hold on to the trifecta, especially when there she is, to try and facilitate those potential transitions. Don't ruin itself here, DK. It's going to be the fight, and Panda, once again, taking an early skirmish that they are not fully ready for.
Yep, of course, now we can see Suda right here alongside them. And of course, this is a very standard kind of drop coming in for Suda, as we see them. They like to frequent up in towards the ruins. And it's nice to see now a team dropping in alongside them, contesting them. But of course, GK First now being the first one to get hit. I know you were talking about GK First yesterday. You were showing quite a bit of love over towards GK First, but down he goes right back into the lobby. And of course, 2 players from Panda already down and out. Suda now just facing the top end here as a Exifan. How do I pronounce that name?
Zifan.
Zifan. Yeah, all right. So Zifan stepped on up, and of course,
yeah. I do believe he is a new addition, because I haven't seen him back in the Western PMPL. So we'll see. I think he's definitely trying to maybe sub in for the team and be a new addition for them before the AMEA tournament happening next week. But here you go. That's going to be Scythe going for the push from SDR onto the final play of Panda. Zifan secures the kill. That's an extra second point. So you know what? I'm not going to be complaining about that whatsoever. But Scythe, he's looking for that golden chance, that golden opportunity. Strike while the iron is hot with the Uzi and also the Thompson. That's going to be his double loadout. Going to try and make it back to the rooftop. I like that play. It was risky. He could have got punished down below, but he makes it happen just in time. And now he has the extra advantage with that third-person perspective. He's going to try and make use of, as he might just jump down on those 2 players remaining.
I mean, it's going to be a pretty tricky one with Saif just down below. It's, of course, cooking up those nades, sending it off. But now, as we can see, Saifan already just out of reach of the damage there. So a quick opportunity now, of course, for Suda to quickly just try and regain that extra little bit of health before pushing further through into this engagement. But this is definitely an interesting turn of events. I mean, Panda, they've been holding their own, fairly well up here against Suda. Of course, Suda already managing to bring in 3 kills, losing 2 players in the process. They're looking to pick up the final one to make it an even number, put him on that 4. Of course, now it is going to be a very tricky rush, but they managed to pull a matrix on that one, dodging the bullets. And of course, sending the players from Panda right back into the lobby. So pretty nice aggressive start. I mean, we're just 3 minutes into the match, and of course, already seeing quite a bit of action. But now, as we head on over in towards Paradise, the players here from New Ria, of course, now making their way through in one of the fastest vehicles on the map.
Next to Ria. I mean, yeah, they're going to be zooming around the place. I'm not going to lie. I don't like this vehicle. I think it looks dumb. I think you look dumb when you drive it. So that is definitely not a car that I want to have when I have to get myself a car, DK. While talking about cars, what's your favorite car? Do you have a favorite? It can be in PUBG Mobile or not. Just a car. Do you like a Tesla or something? What kind of man are you?
I prefer
Or do you like a bike?
Yes.
I knew you were gonna. I think we already talked about this, right? You like your bikes, and you know what?
Yes.
I get and I respect that. It's good for the environment, and it's good for yourself. It's good for the soul. What's not good for the soul is a few bullets to the chest. I'll tell you that much. As Mihi is going to be encountered. By the way, guys, if you're unaware, you do not say this name Mishi. You say Mihi. and we found it really funny. We made fun of it a lot on the PMPL. Me. But there you go. That's a little story. As Enjoy 7 now from World of Wonders is going to go for the push, and it's not an easy one. Nice break coming up from Beast, though. He gets prone just in time behind the spray. That's a great play, but you just be careful. The utility's going to be coming your way. World of Wonders a little bit overcooked. That second nade is looking golden. He has to move away. He does get the knock, but still has Enjoy 7 looking lively as hell. And he does confirm the kill at the very end. He's going to try and jump in the line of fire and get back to that rocky terrain. As he knows he does not want to allow Enjoy 7 to get back on his 2 feet and go for the push to heal up or even go for the res on his teammate. The other player that's knocked so far by World of Wonders is crawling forward to get more information with that third-person perspective, feeding that directly over to Enjoy 7. He peeks, he gets the shot, and he gets it done with the barrel to go instantly for the kill confirm. Beast, indeed, has now become a beast in that 2v2 fight.
Yeah, he definitely engaged the beast mode right then and there. I mean, he was like, you know, game on. We're going to get this one. We're going to wrap it up. And of course, they picked up the kills in the process. Now sitting on a comfortable 3. But of course, as we move on through, we see the players here from Fate now meeting their fate once again at the hand of the players this time from the new Rhea. So definitely an interesting angle for the next Rhea, rather, for the players here to be in. A good, nice height advantage coming on in here onto the side there of Fate. So I'm looking to see how they're going to play this angle and whether or not we're going to be seeing that push come in.
I'm going to have to take away your caster privilege card. Now, you said the Fate joke twice, and you're not allowed to do that. That's against the rules, man. You said the same joke twice. Go straight to the bin, man.
Where was the whistle? I was waiting for the whistle. That.
I'm gonna have to call the PUBG Mobile team like, hey, DK is doing too many dad jokes, man. We gotta get rid of him. And then we're gonna have the guy from Hitman. He's got the sniper, the red dot on your forehead, and he's ready. He's ready anytime to go and take the shot. But though so far, yes, Fate are in a nice compound. I have no real issue with that one. Next Riyadh's got to be a little bit careful because this is a position that if you have a third-party team coming your way, it could get a little bit tricky. So I'd recommend them to hold on to that position, but just be aware of your surroundings and don't focus just on the compound of Fate because that's where you lose track and sight of where you are. And that's where, especially on Sanhok, right, DK, that's where most of the time big issues might arise.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I mean, yesterday you were saying that you don't like Sanhok that much as being a last match.
I don't like it. It's weird.
I gotta argue with you on that one, right? So the way I see it is because it's such an aggressive map, right? It really lends itself, it gives the teams that opportunity that if they missed out on anything in the other 2 maps, be it Miramar, be it Erangel, right? They now have that opportunity to go out, get aggressive, and find a few additional points that they, you know, potentially didn't get on the other 2.
It's true. I think there are definitely some opportunities that are given to teams, and I mentioned it very earlier on this game here, DK, that Destiny is a team that has found consistency. When it comes down to playing on Sanhok, they've got good rotations. They know how to rotate across rivers. They know how to play late game in strong positions, if it's compounds, high grounds, or dips. And it goes to show that there's definitely a method to the madness, as I mentioned earlier. So I think it is a map that if you know how to play to your own strength on Sanhok itself, you have a big opportunity to get ahead of the curve, especially because yesterday was 2 Erangels, today is 2 Miramars, tomorrow is going to be 2 Sanhoks. So if you are able to find some consistency on this map, just like Destiny, you might be able to pull ahead of the teams that are currently standing very high up in the standing. So I agree. I think that there is some strength to find in Sanhok itself. But the thing is, and the reason why I have such a big issue with it is because if you're very late in a tournament, and that's what we saw in the Western Europe PMPL, I don't know if that happened in other PMPLs, but they're all finished on Sanhok in a sense that you have a lot of people camping in the blue. And it's fine, it's part of the game, but I'm not a fan of camping because it's boring and there's no shooting or killing. And I am here to see people shoot and kill each other. So there you go. That's my 2 cents on Sanhok, but maybe you have a different one.
Yeah, I mean, for us on Arabia, there was definitely, you know, it was aggression, and that's why I enjoyed it so much. So I'm really looking forward to see what the combination of these teams will bring on Sanhok, because we have a clash of all the metas, a clash of all the different styles from the different regions. So this is going to make for a very, very interesting, you know, few days that we have. Of course, this is only the second day. We've got one more to go to look and see how the teams could potentially be performing when they meet each other over on EMEA.
That's going to be the idea. We want to see how these clash of metas are going to go down. Talking about going down, the fight between World of Wonders and NASR Esports is going to go down itself. Hassan's got that nade ready to go, but he's not going to pull the pin just yet. He's keeping it ready to go like a hot potato, ready to chuck it as opponent any time in this game. Zessi, he's walking around the place completely clueless of what's the lingering threat right behind him. Gets put in time in that bush, so good to see. He's going to use that Fern just in time, but still a pretty risky play. That looked like a pretty damn good grenade, a little bit overcooked, it does seem. And Zessi will try and move away, but there's another angle that's held down by Chico, and he's instantly going to be striking with that QBZ and gets himself the knock. The kill not confirmed just yet, but Beast from Destiny gets picked away, and I believe that is indeed Destiny getting eliminated. Yeah, I think the entire team's gone there. So that's going to be 16th position for Destiny. Seemed like the Maxman curse is real. I talked about Destiny being good on this map, and didn't quite happen here. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, well, Noshi and Mozara is still alive. We just saw them running. There they are, just up ahead. Next Ruya, keeping a very watchful eye on that rotation. But I mean, just wow. Just down below, just lying in wait. Sun HP, the lone reviver. Yeah, just wow. Just well.
Oh, World of Wonders! Bro, I was like, bro, why are you talking about World of Warcraft? What's going on? World of Wonders, yeah.
I'm rolling
wow.
with the dad
It's an
jokes
interesting
again.
tag.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it really is.
I think I got this interesting thing in my mind, which is you got teams. They're like, we want a cool team tag, so we're gonna do the team tag first, and then we'll think of the team name. They're like, how about we call ourselves WoW, and we'll find a name after. They're like, hey, bro, I like that. World of. We can't do Warcraft because it's taken. Wonders. Ooh, yes, I like it. Yes, very nice. And then you got a team. That's how you do it, guys. Pro branding, 10 out of 10.
But I mean, if you speak about branding, I really enjoy Karina Power's, just whole brand that you can see there. I mean, it's so easy to identify. You know them when you see it. A lot of these teams have the very easy to identify logo. I mean, even Unique, they've got a very unique kind of logo. They're right by their own.
Wow, so, too many dad jokes, man. We're not going too far. I agree, but talking about branding itself, very interesting for these teams, but it's down to the skill at the end of the day. That's where we've got to be, and we're going to try and avoid going off track because there's been a pretty slow-paced Sandhawk game, I would say. It's not been really Sandhockey itself. And for one of the very first tournaments and matches where these two teams, these two teams, got 16 teams, but all these teams have encountered each other, there's so much space. You have no big fights happening in Sandhawk, which is typically what Sandhawk is known for. There's no big madness happening around the map. And I'm enjoying that. That goes to show, for me at least, that these teams seem very prepared very early for the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1. So I'm really hyped for what's to come. Though this circle is now coming right up on your screens. A lot of compounds are available to take for a lot of these squads. So we'll see if they're going to be a little bit quick on their feet to try and get priority on those positions. But now Destiny, they're not dead. I lied. I thought they were, but it seemed like they were not the team to actually get eliminated into this one. I did not pay full attention to the kill feed. Noshi got taken down. It's time to initiate for Qtel as Mozaro, the man, the myth, the legend himself from PMPL Western Europe, is going to be taking that fight solo versus G-Engage of Qtel. Just got that utility. That nade is ready to go. Boom. Anytime, any second, as he gets completely surrounded by R8T. And that's going to be said and done as Destiny, for real this time, DK, get eliminated in 15th.
Yep, this time you were right on point with that one, but of course now we look to see what the rest of the teams are going to be doing. Of course, got Ragnar here from Rico Infinity moving up, and of course, the boys from back home, 4K team making their way around, coming in from that southeastern side, looking to see, of course, what they're going to be doing and, of course, how they're going to be playing this one. They've got a snake in their logo already, so maybe we could have some strategic delayed rotations coming in from that side. Of course, 12-18 right there in front of them, so there is that potential for a few engagements, of course, to find its way on through. Talika just lying on the edge here behind the rock, waiting patiently to pounce. Of course, exactly like a snake would do. Now, this is what one of the things I really enjoy about Sandhawk is the surprise element that comes in.
Oh, I love this setup coming out from 12-18. They got himself a great high ground position. They got himself one building and a big rock boulder to play around. Or as Patrick would say, it's not a rock. It's not well, I forgot what he says, actually. It's a SpongeBob meme. You guys can look it up if you want. I got it wrong, okay? It's not a rock. No, it's not. It's not a stone. It's a rock. There you go. That's it. It's not a stone. It's a rock. There you go. That's what SpongeBob and Patrick says. Regardless, they're going to be using that rock as a good position to scout with that third-person perspective, and they can surround very, very nicely around Slime 4KT as they're trying to initiate in this compound. Talika's going to zoom in forward and quite see what happened there, but I can tell you for the fact that in the kill feed, he gets himself the knock onto Andre. So that's looking like a really good start onto Slime 4KT. Down now to 2. Aimer might be the next man to fall to the hands of Team 1218. Here we go, trying to pre-fire with the AK. I'm going to have to switch over to his M4 with 40 bullets, but doesn't even have time to pop one singular bullet of that clip. And he's going to be taken down 2. Slime 4KT down to 1 is going to be Pronto trying to go for the res onto Storm. Definitely the man you want to get back up in a time of need. But they're trying to leave. They're like, hell nah, bro. We do not want to be a part of this one. But Storm gets exploded down to smithereens, and they just collapsed in on top of it. And they found their prey here, I would say, D-Can. There's no way in hell that Pronto makes it away from this fight. Still going to give it a fair shot. Going to try and go for the spray. Can't even get a knock himself. And 12-18 are looking relentless in today's games.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of strong competition here. I mean, and what perfect way to have it shown is having these teams go head-to-head out. Of course, you know, first up to claim the title here, you know, just to move in for the Ometal Pro League. And of course, from that point on, we can move on, giving us a little bit of a better estimation, a better idea of what to expect when these teams meet once again over on towards the EMA. But now looking at that zone, I mean, this could turn into a hornet's nest. It's
man, Godsend has had a little bit of circle luck today. Like, come on, man. They don't have to move too much now. This is good. And because you don't have too many compounds, there's a lot of roads, especially a lot of cross-sections in play, especially at this phase 4 circle now. It's going to be really hard to not only get into the circle, but rotate upon hitting those further shifts in the future. So you're going to go into a position, you're going to have to take the fight, and then you're going to have to commit. So this is not a very fun finish, I would say. Teams are going to have to be very aware of how they want to play their game out and where they want to die and how they want to die. Because if the circle does not come your way, you're going to have a hard time going for the win. So I think that now teams being able to adapt the mentality of, we know we're not going to win. Let's try and get as many kills or as many positioning points as possible. Which is why a heal-off strat works in this case. Lut's going to be taking a few shots by Nabo from NASR Esports. He's going to try and go for the utility play. A little bit of a random one. Never know. Might connect just on time on Lutz. Did go at least in the global vicinity he was hoping for, but goes boom a little bit too late, and Lutz will be good to go and able to heal up. But Godsend, there you go. We talked about it here. They have a really strong position. They popped in a kill feed. Seemed like a team wants to try and contest that northern compound position.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be quite the challenging zone for the teams to compete. And not only looking at the position of that zone, but of course the spread of the teams. You can see here, Chico steps on up, says hola, puts the shots on in, and of course picks up one of the players there from the footballers. But now we see, of course, Lovazin, right? Yeah, getting ready, cooking up the nades. Getting ready to
I feel like you just asked me. You just asked me if you need it, man. Oh, there you go. He's going to get pushed upon. Lovazin's going to go down indeed. Footballist will be losing another one of their very valuable player. Still got Rom. It's going to be ready to pop off this one. Definitely a very aggressive, nurtured player. And Lutz will be able to assist that push of Rom. Rom still up and ready to go. But Hassan, way too far away. The utility coming on through to make sure they are not going to get pushed. And might have time to go for the res, but you see it right there happen, and that is going to be the end for Footballist, I believe, as they get taken on down. Nice try, but unfortunately, Hassan had the last word at the end.
Yeah, and of course, really good play coming in there. But now as we move on over to Na'Vi, as they get sent into the lobby, that is a tragic end as we now move into our top 9 teams in the map here of Sanhok. But of course now Godsend sitting down on to 2 remaining players. That is Lazy and Vito, of course, now looking to fight potentially against the side of Kanina Power. But both these teams need to get their butts back up into that zone as it has shifted down in towards the southwest. Of course, the players there from next to Ruya just already getting themselves set up in the zone. Fate also just keeping, you know, that gate locked up in the north, taking that position in the compound. And of course, now we look to see where the remaining teams are going to try and push on into it. Really good utilization of the edge compounds in the zone.
I mean, yeah, as you said it, they want to try and keep those gates locked up, which is why we call it gatekeeping. You want to make sure no one's going to make it through that frontal position of the circle itself. Godsend able to cross over the road, which was going to be the hardest part of that shift they were going through. But next Roya, they see it. They spot it from a distance. A little try on the nade. I'm sorry, guys. I hate that push coming out from Frozen. I don't know why you would do that. You know you're going to get shot from down below or from an off angle. If you nade from a point where you can very easily defend yourself. Pushing downhill to get a little bit closer to nade is not the play. And I do not want to see that again especially from the team that arrived first of their respective PMPL. Come on, Frozen, you are the MVP. You should know better than that. That is not okay. That is not something I want to see. Though, back onto the eastern side, where the big clash is going to be happening. Team Unique, Kanina Power are pushing forward, but man, Next Royale are being relentless on how they're holding this eastern side.
Yeah, it is looking pretty hairy, as of course now the players here from Guns and Fate also start fighting things out right here up in the northern position of the zone. But I mean, the east is going to be pretty tough, because we've got quite a few teams still left to try and rotate in. In fact, pretty much the rest of the lobby still need to find their way on in. But now Fate now just trying to hold their own against the players here from Guns, and we've seen Guns being pretty aggressive. Now Fate right up against them, and see now Trump now trying to jump on top of the head of his teammates. But Hamodi just comes rolling on in, bulldozing his way through two of the players from Fate. Now Lath and Isawi, the two remaining hopefuls for the team there, of course, from Fate. It is going to be pretty tough, as Guns is still sitting on all four players, and almost no damage has been done to them.
Man, Hamodi, what a madman. Like, as you said, bulldozer, like, that is exactly the definition I'm going to be using for that, man. Hamodi was insane. The jump shot double kill was nutty. Close off the fight, so now they can actually change full attention of Guns towards Fate. And as DK would like to say, we'll see if Fate are going to be encountering their own fate at the end of this fight. The smokes are going to be dissipating and going away. Going to be going into the Nether Realm. As now, because of the smokes and the blanket of unknown and mystery has been taken off from Fate, they're going to be spotted away. Especially Khalid is going to be taking that first engage. Sawi's going to be taken down. Only Late is going to be remaining in that position. The circle is still closing off. We're about to get to phase 7, and there's not a big chance of the circle actually ending in this compound. On the other side, on that hilltop position, the survival of the fittest to see who can survive the longest possible. Late is going to get pushed upon. He only added a UMP, and the barrel will be mightier than the UMP as Guns wins off that fight. Win off the fight of the compound, as now they will have priority in the northern side. But unfortunately here, DK, they need to go uphill.
Yeah, and of course, speaking about uphill, we see the players there from Next Royale just positioned and perched up at top of that hill. It could be an advantageous angle for them, with quite a few players just scattered out below. But Guns still sitting on a full squad. But of course, now the shots finding their way over on towards them, as we've got Azzy there from Godsend just trying to hide up in the smoke. But of course, Khalid keeping a very watchful eye on that offside. And of course, now this is where we look to see what the players from Next Royale will be doing. Will they be able to clutch this one out and take that chicken dinner, steal it away, both hands holding on to that very, very tightly? It is going to be quite the fight, as we can see the players here from Guns now getting ready to push a little bit further up the hill. Khalid already making a little bit of a play there, starting to take aim up top to the hill, but down he goes in the process. Now two final teams left. It is Next Royale. It is the players from Guns, but of course, here we go. It is showdown time. The hits come on in, and Next Royale pick it up, claim the chicken dinner, sealing it away from the hands of Guns, and of course doing so with 12 kills.
So I think Frozen did not like my comment of how he chucked that nade, okay? So you know what? I'm sorry. That was a great finish. I still think there was an opportunity for teams around to punish it more, but the thing is they were not ready to commit to playing in the blue to get those opportunities and those angles. So they had to try and push in, and because of that, and especially the high ground advantage coming away of Next Royale, that rewards them with the win at the end. But they had a super strong position, DK. I think it goes without saying they had one of the strongest positions to play from in that finishing moment in the circle. And they played it really well. They controlled the eastern side, make sure they were not going to get backstabbed as they were eking their way forward towards the circle. And the moment that they knew there was no one that's going to come from the further eastern side, they were clear to put 100% of their attention into the final circle, going into phase 7/phase 8, and clear up the entire lobby at that moment. So great from Next Royale. I really enjoyed it, but especially I want to say how good of a fight that was from Guns in that compound up northeast. That was a great position to play from, and especially Hamodi. Man, chef's kiss. That was an amazing engage he had at the very end. That jump shot 1v2. Sure was a risky play, don't get me wrong. But at the end, all we see are results. And for that alone, Hamodi deserves a little bit of a tip of the hat, because that was a very clean jump shot that you don't see every day.
Yeah, no, definitely was a really impressive show. But I mean, just looking to see how the teams have been performing. I mean, we see 4 of the 5 teams from like the Arabia region finishing up in the top 6. We got Guns in there, we got Rico Infinity, we got NASA, and of course we got the players from Fate. Yeah. But then also we've got the players from Godsend representing the region, stepping in and bringing up a strong finish up in 4th place, of course, coming in with 6 kills. So very good play there from them. And of course, they just played those positions as well.
Yeah. I would even say Godsend, this is an extremely consistent day coming out from them, because they started off game 1 on Miramar, which is a completely different beast. I'm not talking about beast from Disney. I'm talking about beast in general. This is a completely different approach compared to their game back on Miramar. That was really focused around strong position control and also rotating around the map. Here they gave themselves another great game, 4th position in terms of overall points, and they started off before this game in actually 5th position. This game, because of the results they actually got for themselves this time around, I think they could be looking to be in top 3. When we have the overall rankings updated, they're not updated just yet, so we'll have to wait after the break to take a little bit of a closer look. But Godsend, extremely consistent. This is a team that has been evolving, especially throughout the entirety of this PMPL for the Western European region. And it's great to see this actually rewarding them for the labors they've been going through the most of that PMPL. So, yeah, keep it up. I think Godsend, they found I was going to do a gold search facility kind of reference, but I lost it. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm trying to...
We lost Max.
Oh, hello.
There we go. Max is back.
There you go. I don't know. My Wi-Fi was like, bruh, no. How about no right there? I don't know if you caught what I said. What I'm trying to say then is Godsend's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we got the gist of that. And of course, you know, I concur. That was a really good performance coming in there from them. But of course, we're going to be seeing what they're going to be doing on the next map, as we are going to be heading over in towards Erangel to spice things up just a little bit more. Head back into the home turf to see who will be the team to bring that in. Of course, we'll be back with you after a short break, so stay tuned. Hello guys and welcome back, of course, here with Maxman, and we're going to be taking you into the next match. But before we do that, of course, we're going to be jumping into the quick standings after the previous match just to see where the teams are at before we hop on in towards Erangel. So Maxman, what do you think of this?
I mean, next Ruria, they started off yesterday without even a win, being in that top 3 position, right? And now they actually got themselves a win. They're back in it again, baby. Second position, getting close to Footballist. Footballist didn't have that big of a game last time. Then he got himself 1 point, I believe, off of that one. So they need to get back into it because the competition is getting tighter by the damn minutes. As Ruria might be trying to contest and snatch away that first place right after this game. It's going to go back on the Wrangle. So that's going to be the big focus on Ruria, Kanina Power, even Team Unique, to see if they can, off the back of a really strong game, overtake the Footballist first position.
Yeah, and of course now speaking about that first position for the footballers as we move over into the game, we can see that flight path, of course, now right up in towards the northeastern reaches of the map. So definitely an interesting flight path. Looking forward to see where the teams are going to be dropping and of course where that first initial zone is going to be going. This is Erangel, so we could see a pretty crazy zone coming in off of this.
Yep, we're going to have a R8T and also Destiny taking a fight into Saverny itself. So Destiny, I'm going to mainly talk a lot about the Western European teams because I know their drops best. But Destiny typically is a very northern team on the Erangel. They like to go for widespread around shooting range, even the northern side of Northern George, and go for spread also towards the likes of Saverny. This time is going to be contested. Seems like R8T want to try and avoid it. Ragnar is going to go back towards a more southern edge. So it seems like they want to try and extract themselves away from that equation. So I'm not too surprised, but once again, this is still a learning opportunity for these teams, and they're trying to adapt over time to see how that's going to be happening. We can't quite see the transition over time because we haven't seen the games yesterday, so we don't know if these drops have been continuously changing. But oh my god, there we go. First game is going to be on military base itself. Well, military island, should I say. And I love myself some military island finishes, and I'm going on for a little bit of a long time here because I want to tell you, DK, I'm really sad because during the entire PMPL Western Europe, we have not had a single Sovnovka military base island finish. Not a single one. In 4 weeks of play, we haven't had one, and I'm really sad. And now we get it game one. The first Erangel game, should I say, of today. I don't know what to say, man. I'm disappointed.
To make you feel better, we had only one on Arabia, right? So it's
you got one at least.
Yeah,
don't complain.
One, just
you
one.
Got one.
I mean, we even had one that ended off on the shoreline of Malta. Right there on the edge. It was insane, right? It was absolutely crazy. But now, of course, speaking about insane, speaking about crazy, we are in Saverny with Rico Infinity and Destiny. Of course, now going head to head, and as you can see, Prestige have already taken quite a bit of damage, getting knocked out. Now, it's going to be curious to see whether or not the players here from Rico Infinity are going to try and swoop in to pick up that kill, or the raise rather. But of course, now as we just saw, he just got it confirmed. So back they go now, down to 3 players. As we see the team here from Destiny move in, picking up QTEL in the process. Of course, this is going to be pretty trying as a bit of an exploration here for the side of Rico Infinity.
Yeah, nice little shots coming out, especially from Beast, able to get himself some knocks. That facilitates that rotation forward from Destiny, eking their way forward towards the southern side of the compound. Khalid's going to be in a 1v2 currently between Nochi and Mazzaro. They're inside, head-to-head, ready to go for that skirmish. There you go. Khalid gets spotted away, and that was a great, amazing off-angle kill, DK, I would clearly have to say. Take himself the fight, clearing up the way of Saverny as okay, you got to chill out, but apparently Gonzo, he's already on a streak right now, rolling over people. He's taking them down, man. Easy game for him. 2 kills already to his name alone.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of horsepower in that vehicle, so that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, there's even one on the boot, right? So you got to know... Like, it's just loaded up.
Of Love logo.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
I want to see Kanina Power 4v4 versus Unicorns of Love. That would be a fun matchup.
Ooh.
The unicorns matter. Well, the horse is not. They're not both unicorns, but you get my point. Though apartments, that's going to be another point to make. That Panda are fighting very early in these games. DK.
Yeah. I mean, there's a nice bit of aggression, but of course, as we can see, also NASA right here alongside them, already now being reduced down to 2, as we see Chico now just trying to dodge back and forth in and out of that doorway. But of course, Panda moving in as a pretty formidable team as they come on in, bringing the chaos alongside with them and just laying it on so thick. Of course, ending it right there for NASA.
I love, like, Lim was waiting up the stairs like, no, you go back down there. You're not contesting that. Yeah, Panda, little start for them. Though I clearly have to... why was Sanhok more passive than Erangel? What's going on, ladies and gents? I have no idea, but you know what? It feels like this is a very Sanhoki feeling back on Erangel itself. As Guns only have Modi himself, the man with a double kill on the jump shot, but he's spotted away by Lutz especially, and that's going to be all set and done. Footballist, DK, they really want to hold on to that first place, and they are letting no one overtake that position.
Yeah, they coming in exceptionally strong, so aggressive, and it's so appreciated to see a team step up and just bring that aggression right out the gate there, of course, stopping the players from Guns dead in their tracks. But of course now, We got the players here from Canino Power. Just moving a little bit closer onto the side here of Suda, as we can see, of course, all the way down in towards the Nova Crate. So definitely an interesting position for Suda to be in. It could be advantageous. There's so many hiding places, so many different angles they can fight from. So it could be challenging for Canino. But of course, knowing Canino, they are up for the challenge.
Canino are always up for the challenge, man. They're always up for a fight. They are known as one hell of an aggressive team. So if they're given the chance, they will be chopping your head right off and showing it to the rest of the lobby as an example to say, you don't want to mess with us. And you know what? If I was playing in this lobby, I probably wouldn't want to mess with Canino Power. Because especially if I do mess with Canino Power, I think a lot of people in chat will be not only spamming Canino Alga, but also saying Maxman Big Noob, which you would be right in that assessment, but I won't appreciate it, and I will probably cry myself to sleep. Canino Power, having Pioneer, just scouting a little bit towards Nova, trying to gather that information, knowing exactly what's going on the horizon. So they would have potentially liked to get some loot or even get a few cars that like to spawn and tend to spawn towards Nova. But I think that he spotted out a few players and was like, okay, you know what? Maybe not worth it for the cars. We know the circle's coming down to Sundavka Island itself, so we're not going to take the risk because it's clearly not worth it. As Tolika's going to be spotted away, and Lovazin going for a few sneaky one-taps, but Solke, he's going to steal it away. That's a KS, my dude. I would be raging in the in-game chat.
And then, of course, you know, footballers just to show off. Drive around with a McLaren or Lamborghini.
Oh, damn it.
You know, on the grass.
Lamborghini? No, Lamborghini is a McLaren. What do you mean?
McLaren. Right, McLaren. All right, I said it first. I said it first.
Yes. You know what? Fair enough. That's a fair assessment. Though, have you tried to pull for the McLaren? Or not?
No.
No?
No, not yet.
I put like €50 and I got nothing. So I would not recommend. Hey, we're out of here, boys. Hey, we don't want to get bridge camp. They knew something was coming up there. I like it. You know what? You're over the mainland. You can jump over because your Nakai don't take any full damage. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Godsend. That's a nice one, but it seemed like Vito will not have that same luck apparently here.
Oh no, but Vito comes in with a plan there.
Oh, that was a pretty good one. Redknot's going to try and help out here, DK. So they're trying to assist Vito to move away from this bridge. I like it.
And I mean, Nomi, he's now caught in a very difficult position as Godsend comes swooping in. Of course, Nomi sacrificing himself there to the PUBG guns, jumping off the bridge. Of course, Azzy now showing us how it's done without taking damage in the fall, as you've pointed out there, of course, in the vehicle. But now, this is where it's going to get interesting. We've got Suda, we've got Canino Power, and the addition of Godsend. So, man, this is going to be a pretty spicy engagement. But, of course, that zone is down south. So, I mean, what do we expect?
This is going to be one hell of a ride for sure. As Godsend trying to extract himself away from this position overall, I think that's a good idea. There's a lot of action currently happening in this compound, especially Pseudo Esports. How did Fidan get there? I have no clue. But he's going to be sandwiched up between two players of Canino Power. So Axa and also Pioneer are going to be the two to try and pin down that kind of position. Get the information later on. I'm seeing it, especially in the chat. There's a Canino Power spam. We need mods, okay? It's not because we don't have mods you should be spamming. So if you keep on spamming, guys, we'll come for you. And, well, I can't ban you because I'm not a mod, but there might be one soon. So you be careful, kids, okay? Play nice, play nice.
I mean, like, to answer your question, you know, Hidan got there because he's got some hidden powers. That's how he made it up into that position in one piece without getting spotted out just yet. But, of course, up comes the rest of the squad here from Suda as they come rushing in, looking to clean out the compound. And, of course, picking up Axa in the process there. So, taking down one. Just alleviating a little bit of the pressure. Now looking to see if they could maybe wrap it up with the team here from Canino Power. And it is going to be a little bit of a challenge now for Canino, seeing that we can only see one of their players positioned just over towards the east.
Yeah, just a little position to hold on to. Not too shabby indeed. Smokes, utility is going to be chucked out. And they're going to try and maybe facilitate a transition, which is a good plan. I'm happy to see that Fascia Pioneer was actually able to move out of that position alone, but here we go. This is the overlook of the map that I desperately wanted to check out to know what we're currently dealing with. So we got Godsend, Fate, Footballist, also 1218 having one of their players, which is going to be Marmalade, that's already inside that spot, and also SDR. So we're going to have so far a few teams. We're going to have especially, well, now one extra player just died, so I believe we only got 4 or 5 teams currently on Sundavka Island itself, and the rest of the lobby is going to be up north, trying to contest for that position. No GK First is very deep into Sunken City. He picked himself one knock onto Kudo, but He needs 2 more players to go through full next Ria, and that is not an easy team to take down. But what a nade from GK first. And now the team, the cavalry, is indeed here, GK, and they're trying to assist him, as Yekta is going to be the only standing player remaining for next Ria. He's running away for his sheer life, but you know that when Panda, they spot out a target, they spot out someone to take down, they are going to chase you down until the very edge of the earth.
Yep, they are going to go out for blood. They're going to hunt you down, and I mean... this is a very interesting position. I mean, Katsu now coming in.
Come on.
With a very interesting play there on the vehicle. And of course, Yekta now just trying to out a hill a little bit out in the blue zone. Of course, being able to put quite a bit of distance in between himself and the team there from Panda. But I'm curious to see, though, whether or not Yekta is going to be making a play or going to try and get out of this.
I was so mad I punched my microphone without doing it on purpose. But it was intentional because my mind knew that Lin had to get punished for that, and I punched my mic. I don't know why. But you know what? That's okay. They make it out. They get the res on Lin. It's only phase 2. You can very easily heal yourself back in the blue. But Yekta, 15 bandages. Will be fine because it's phase 2, as I just mentioned a few seconds ago. But it is not one we're going to be able to normally out-survive and outplay the entirety of Panda, especially when they're there as a 4-man crew, and we know how good they can be once hitting the mid to late game stage. Team Unique, an extra sneaky kill to their name, picked up. Milky Way did not die early, so this is a different showcase coming up from Team Unique, apparently. But the thing is, the more you delay it, the more there's going to be a chance, DK, of teams actually getting gatekept on the east and the western bridge, making it to Somnovka Island. So the more you delay it, the harder that rotation potentially can be later on down the line.
Yeah, and of course, we're going to look to see whether or not the stars align here for Unique. You know, with Milky Way just on the edge here, out in the road. One thing I did notice, though, is Milky Way didn't look both ways before jumping out of the vehicle. So it could be an interesting one, in fact.
Stop!
You know.
Help me! He's doing too many dad jokes. We did like a stars align for the Milky Way, then you did both. I mean, to be honest, I do not know where you get them from, but that's respect. You're resourceful when it comes to dad jokes. How many kids do you have? I don't believe if you say you don't have any, man. You have to have at least one. That is not natural.
None.
For someone. You got no? I don't know. I don't believe. Yeah. Maybe put them up to adoption or something, but I'm sure you must have a kid somewhere out there.
Well, none that I'm aware of. Let me put it that way.
Okay. We're going down a slippery slope on this one. Maybe we're going to change subject a little bit. And here, Na'Vi, as we said, if you delay a little bit too much, could get a little bit tricky here. I think they're just trying to pick up as much utility and resources before actually committing to that push, because they don't know what's happening on the other side of that bridge. They might get gatekept, they might not. Who knows? But they're being very cautious of how they're approaching it. But hey, I mean, Matic is having some fun on the bridge, so he's having some monkey plays over there. He's having a real good time.
Yeah, and I mean, now if we look over towards the players here from Suda, they look to be just taunting the players from the footballers here.
They start going for the compound. They hit one footstep, like, oh, we're out of here. We don't know who that is, but we're not messing with that.
Yeah, but it's because Saif wants to play it safe, you know. So he comes in, he's like, no, just move on.
Okay, you know what? I felt I went straight into that one. You know what?
Yeah,
deserved. But yeah, it's good today. They were that reactive too. That's big. I think that was a good way of showcasing that they listen. They pay attention to the surrounding areas. So big heads up to them. Those Slime 4KT. See in boats. If I were them, and I know that I've delayed these rotations so much, I might be even thinking, you know, going for botation, entering through Novo would maybe not be that bad of an option for them. So I'm intrigued to see if that's going to be their call of action they're going to decide to go towards. Team Unique's there. Or no, you can't anymore. You can't anymore.
I gotta say, like, I like this position coming in from Unique. You know, just perched up on the compounds, just close to that bridge. They know the teams have to try and move across, setting themselves up there with that 2-2 split as well. Beautiful stuff. But speaking about bridges, even Na'Vi, they've got themselves perched up on these bridges, just lying in wait. And now they're looking to bounce onto Panda. This is gonna be a challenge, but Matic went a little bit too high on that bridge, of course, falling off. And of course, we can see Cypher now just getting knocked out in the process. So Old Boy and Miku now looking to make that play.
Yeah, I mean, Matic, I appreciate you trying to play in the monkey castle right there, but you know what? Maybe you don't want to swing yourself over when you're getting pushed, especially by Panda. That is not the play. You're going to try and make it forward. Potentially go for the rest. He makes it. I don't know how, but he actually makes it over there. So that will have a potential res for one of their teammates to get Na'Vi back in a point of interest. But Zifan and Lin both knocked away. Katsu and GK first are going to be up and ready to go. Old Boy nades himself? What is going? I have no idea what I'm witnessing right now, GK. I'll let you go through it because I have no clue what I'm looking at here. As Tixie's going to go for the engage. What?
We'll just say it was a sacrifice for the PUBG gods. That's what it was. You know, it's like wishing the best for Na'Vi, looking to potentially see the team make it a little bit further on through. I mean, it is pretty tough going up against Panda, a full squad of Panda pushing in. But is it that tough that old boy needs to go, like, you know, peace out? I don't know.
I mean, pandas are known for eating bamboo. They don't eat human flesh.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. They just devoured. I mean, to be honest, Na'Vi did kind of. You had one player that knocked himself by falling. Then old boy naded himself. I think it's kind of it's a seppuku back in anime, right? Like back in the samurai days. Just like, oh, I mean, they just take care of himself there on their own. Lin did get confirmed out of that game, unfortunately, so for Panda. Na'Vi gonna try and move away. I like that Zifan tried to get himself towards the lighthouse to maybe connect a few. I saw Bullet or 2 connect right there on both Matic and Meku. And they're going to be jumping right on over, pulling off the God Sent strat, and get himself over the board on the island of Sovnovka, which is where the island's going to finish. The game is going to finish, should I say. So good. As now, DK, Unique want a piece of that Slime 4KT, so they are pushing their way forward towards the beach and looking for the final player.
Yeah, they've tasted snake meat, and of course now they're looking to pick up the last bit. A Storm now is just trying to roll on out, get back up in towards safety, and it is going to be quite a bit of a rotation to make it up in towards the island there of Sosnovka. It is going to be a really challenging one, of course, to pull off. But now, speaking about challenging, Panda and Na'Vi still going at it, of course, over on this western bridge. As we can see, GK first, now moving up right on to the front step of Na'Vi. They've held themselves on that track, and of course now GK first coming up with a strategic maneuver, jumping off the bridge. No vehicle required for that maneuver. But of course, now this is where we look to see what Matic and of course Miku will be doing with this position.
Yeah, Matic and Meku. Katu, I think is good. I like this play if this is what he's doing. You got high ground position that's right down southwest of where this bridge is. That was an amazing nade from GK first. Holy smokes, that was well cooked up. Zifan gets the angle. Exactly. There you go. That was the play. He went straight for the high ground position, going for the backstab onto Na'Vi. And with the rain of utility from down below, by the way, requiring perfect cooking from GK first, he's keeping continuous pressure down onto Na'Vi. Luckily enough, Meku does get Matic back on his 2 feet. But Meku is going to instantly fall down. The Savior has been eliminated. GK first will get, regardless, knocked out. But now it's Panda. They are closing on in onto Na'Vi. There's only Matic remaining, able to keep the team alive. But for how long? He gets the first aid kit, able to tank up maybe a few extra bullets. But Zifan is relentless. But where's the team? Where's the other player? Where is the extra support of one of your teammates? I have no idea, but World of Wonders, they want nothing to do with this, as they just yeet themselves over the side of the bridge and get the hell out of that position. But Zifan, you got to be careful. Behind you got an extra player, but there you go. He makes it under the bridge. It's phase 3, currently up. It's still closing around these teams. But Zessi, he sees this as an opportunity. Zifan does close off the fight, but World of Wonders going in hot for that final third party to maybe snatch him away more. Or they're just going to say no and we're just going to leave. And that works too. I get it.
I mean, that was a perfect example of what a yeet is. Right there, what we saw coming in there from Sun HP. That is like a yeet at its best. Right, but now, of course, looking to see what the teams are going to be doing with this phase, though. But there's quite a few players still straggling around up in that blue. But, of course, now with that zone shifting so far down south, it is going to be absolutely brutal.
This is great for Fabilis. I love that split. Lovers in Lutz and Rom away from Solke. Solke smack dab center with one of the only, if not the only playable compound in this final circle. They instantly rotate onto Solke, and that's how you play a late game position if you have a wide 4-man spread. Really by the book. Love to see that coming on through. Those Slime 4KT with Storm. As a one-man, maybe don't want to take that fight, so he knows that he's going to take the L, but he's only got 10 bandages and 1 first aid kit. I don't think he's making it in the next circle, but you never know. That you might be able to find a few meds on his way up there to loot it up the front of the carcasses of the fallen players on that bridge camp.
Speaking about carcasses, you see Destiny now becoming a few carcasses there as the players from Suda turn their focus on towards them. And here we go, rushing onto the side. We got Noshi getting knocked. Mihi now stepping up, finding a quick few shots in to the side here of Suda. But of course now Saif comes in, gets knocked out in the process. Now it is all up towards Hidan. Mihi looking to make that play on the edge of the cliff here.
Mihi. Maya. Okay, he's going for it. It's okay. I don't know why I'm going with that one, but that's fine. Track 2, going to try and crawl his way forward. The cool thing about these kind of positions too is that they can, track 2 especially, can still give some information despite being knocked, which is why he is indirectly a threat. So smoke it up. I think that is not going to help your situation because he has that entire ridge line to play from, and he can peek from literally anywhere. I think that even though it is helping you out right now, there's a chance where Mihi could be trying to use these smokes to his advantage. Luckily enough, for SDR, that is not the case. So Sidor just got to try and take it slow, but there you go. He's going to go for the push, and the smokes, I just mentioned it, they do not really help you out too much, as you're still given an opportunity for the team around you to try and capitalize on the lack of information granted to your own team. Mihi's taking a pretty big shot, though. He's got to be careful. Third parties currently happening, meaning that Sidor Esports can't fully commit to the push, and if they do, they might just get swiped away. They've got to take it slow. Nice break to initiate from Mihi, taking very small amount of damage, but that final bloom shot from Fiden will be enough to close off that fight and send the opposing team of Destiny right back into the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, he done with the hidden talents, just stepping in, finding those well-placed shots. I mean, that was absolutely beautiful. But now, as fate has it, we see them just up ahead. Of course, Unique trying to make that play. Mind tapping away. We've got Azzy keeping a very watchful eye there from the side of Godsend. So again, a nice little bit of a danger-death triangle we've got happening right here. We've got Unique, we've got Fate, we've got Godsend. You know, everyone's got God. Now we wait to see what is going to happen. Who's going to get the shots?
I'll tell you, the team, the center, is going to be taking a lot of those shots, and seem like that might just be the likes of Footballists. We check out the circle. Perfect timing, exactly where I wanted to see it. And, I mean, it goes without saying, they have a strong position, but there's a big chance that they are going to be having to cross over that road. There's a chance, of course, the circle comes their way, and if so, they're great, especially if they got cars. They can make some makeshift compounds with some car carcasses and play around that as much as possible. Though, they need to try and make sure that they zone away teams and thinking Godsend and thinking World of Wonders. You do not want to allow these teams, and even as Pseudo Esports, you want to make sure they don't try and contest your compound early. So you want to zone it away, and it's very flat terrain, so that should be a pretty easy task at hand for Footballist. But the teams around them are pretty damn good at the game, especially Godsend when you look at it, so they might try and get themselves a piece of the pie. Here it is. It's time for Team Unique here, DK, to go for the engage on Fate, but Milky Way, instant regret, and he's out of here, man.
Yeah, I can't blame Milky Way. I mean, that is a really hard spot to push on into, but of course, now we see 12-18 also looking to just creep in on that third-party potential. But in the meantime, we of course have Milky Way now just sending out all the mollies. But here we go, Lace sending one over the top side. TT sucks now just waiting to see. That was so close. He almost had that angle on it to the side here of Unique. But of course, now steps on up, finds the hits. Down they go, and of course TT Sucks just finds it straight on through. Beautiful play. That is what we call a third party. But now Unique and Fate. Ooh.
Oh.
Wow.
That's an 8.
Yeah.
That's an A right there. Straight up facts. Pseudo Esports going to be trying to roll on down the hill top. I like to call it the DOS pilot heel top, but that's because of an old meme in 2019 that I should try and forget about because it is not relevant anymore. But it's still a hilltop that it came down from, should be pretty good. Frozen joins in the party very late, but Team Unique will have the better part of that fight and will be coming out on top from that crates kind of mini fight happening on the northern eastern side. Now the focus is more going to be over to the west, where it's going to be Panda still continuously on the forefront of this action. Zifan did get engulfed by the blue, and in his holy grasp he's going to be ticking down and losing health over time, and we know as a fact that he should not get res back up. This is a big throw for Panda to try and go for it, and indeed Analyst does get also confirmed out of the lobby. Panda going to try and move forward, but as I said, DK, there's a big chance the circle does not go the way of Footballist. We got a perfect crate, perfectly positioned on the other side of that road, right into the circle too, I would believe so. If they play their cards correctly, that crate could be an option for them to clear as many teams remaining in this lobby at this point in time.
But that could also be like a carrot on a stick.
Also,
with a drop on the edge of that zone. So, I mean, it is going to be quite a risky move. Yes, now we look to see what the teams up in the north going to be doing. Because, I mean, to be honest, Footballers, they've got it so chill now. Everyone up ahead of them, busy fighting in our tooth and nail. But now, of course, the Footballers, they just come in, they're like, you know what, let's help you. We'll just tap away slowly, just put the damage in towards Suda, send them back into the lobby. You know, who's even counting?
I think they counted. I mean, they want to check out how many kills they got. You know what? That's the interesting part. I like it. Here you go. That was a two-man push coming out from Footballers to try and serve as an anchor point to facilitate that rotation, as you have just a good position anchored onto that you can very easily make that rotation happen in a matter of time. There you go. Everyone's joining on Eva. Yeah, and even Sulky, you can see on the minimap top right that he's even sending it forward even further, trying to potentially crash it towards a tree or towards some utility. I like that kind of approach, but Panda, clear to say that things aren't looking too good. GK first going to be knocked away. Analyst with a very clean hedge on the DP28. And Katu decides to give himself and offer himself to the blue zone. That's Panda eliminated in 4th position. Still some pretty decent points to stay relevant on the top side of the standings. But here we're now focused, DK, on our top teams, our top players of this game. It's got Footballist, Team Unique still in the running. And even on the other side, you got a little bit more involvement from the likes of 12-18. But they are the ones that's going to struggle, as they are currently the furthest team away from the circle. And they're going to have a real run for their money in this finish.
Yeah, and of course, this whole match has been a complete, just an upset. We're seeing completely different teams pushing all the way up in towards these late phases. And of course, it's going to be interesting to see just how many kills the Footballers are going to be bringing in. They're already sitting on 10 kills, of course, the players here from Unique now looking to pick up a few more, looking to improve on the 8 they've been able to acquire so far. But of course, now also the players here from 12-18, they are not going to be backing down out of this one just yet. Yes,
nice
they
nade.
have one of their players knocked, but now here comes the pressure. Here comes the... Ooh, the deal sealer. It was so close. But fortunately, for TT Sucks,
Footballers already got himself 10 kills. The Footballers are just running away with this lead right now in the first position. It's going to be really hard, especially tomorrow, with only 4 games remaining to catch up. TT Sucks going to be able to get himself another knock. This is good. 12-18, down to only 1 player, and he's able to actually instantly convert it into a kill. 12-18 definitely having a good chance to snatch away this game from the likes of Unique, from the likes of Footballist especially. But Unique only down to 1. Going to be mine, trying his best to crawl his way forward. As a 3v1v1, Footballist typically here, I would clearly have to say, DK, should have this game in the bag.
Yeah, that's what we would think, but I mean, it could still swing either which way, of course. Now, Mine steps up, gets the knock and confirm, but of course gets taken out by the blue zone. TT Sucks now trying to play out in that blue zone. It is a 1v2 push for that final play. That chicken, then of course now Lutz just moving about, just patiently waiting to see, you know, who's going to step up.
Hey, give me your best car impression. Go, go, go. Hey, no, that's a pretty good car impression. There you go. He's going to be our first aid kit, so he's going to give himself as an offering over to the blue zone. Footballist will secure himself the big fat dub. You know what? 12-18 through trials and tribulation, able to get a second position was not one of the easiest rotations into that late game circle. It's still a pretty big way to close off this third game today. 12-18, especially popping up a few extra kills. 3 of those actually going over to TT Sucks and 1 to Marmalade. But at the end, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room, which is, of course, going to be Footballist. Secure himself another big, fat win. 3 so far throughout these 7 games. About to go towards 8 games upon our next game on Miramar. This team is so far the definition of a consistent and relevant team in this entire Ometal Pro League tournament. It's very clear that Footballists are looking not only as a favorite, but also a team worthy of being in that first place at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a really amazing play coming in from Footballers so far. Finishing off there, as we can see, of course, on a 10-kill match, of course. The players there from 12-18 bringing it in on 4 kills in second place. Unique finishing up their last rally there. Both coming in on a 10-kill game as well. So some really strong plays right up in the top 3 teams there. But of course, we had quite a few impressive plays also leading up to that final phase, that final zone, that blue zone sacrifice we saw coming in there. But yeah, really got to give it to these players. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal stuff. And of course, as you can see, it was tough. As we go down the list there, I mean, there's not a lot of kills as we move down to those lower portions there. So definitely, you know, it shows just how difficult it has been. But of course, we've got 1 more map left. 1 more to go. We're heading right back in towards Miramar, into the sandy dunes. Sands of time to see what the teams can do and if they can stand the test of time on the lovely map. But of course, we'll be bringing that back right after the break. So see you guys back in a short few minutes. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Of course, we just came back from our third match here today. Maxman putting a disappearing act there. Are you a real boy?
Hello. Hello. Yes, I'm real boy. I'm trying. I'm barely reaching the microphone. Hello. Game 4. It's happening right now. Going back on Miramar. It's gonna be pretty poggers. Even though we're not streaming on Twitch, or just on YouTube, I'm still gonna say poggers because I'm a real gamer. Real gamers do be doing things like, oh, I just fell. I'm fine. I'm doing okay. I think we got the overall ranking, so we might check it out before actually getting into the game, DK, because we have some interesting few little changes here and there. Godsend Panda, despite some decent results, slowly but surely slipping out of the grasp of that first place position. And Footballist, as we clearly said, DK, that one bang of a game was double-digit kill counts, plus the chicken dinner, 15 points coming to their name. Now with 111 points, they are seeming really hard to catch up to. Team Unique can make it happen. Next Ria could make it happen. And even potentially Kanina Power. But if you're below those teams and below that 60-point margin, you will have a real hard time being able to catch up to this team with now only 5 games remaining. You guys need to step it up a notch, or otherwise Footballists are going to take the title without even breaking a sweat.
Yeah. I mean, they've been showing up pretty consistently. And of course, now we're going to be hopping over in to our final match of the day to see what that consistency will bring us. Of course, as you can see, we're heading straight back up in towards Miramar. The plane is now starting to make its way on through, coming in from what seems to be the far eastern side there, heading over Al Azhar. A slightly northern flight path in this one. Of course, again, it's going to be interesting to see where the teams are going to drop.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Panda are going to try and fix their drop, especially with the northern plane path, as you just mentioned. I think that what could help Panda a lot, and I think that they learned that especially from Polar Race back in the Western European PMPL, is that Ruins is a decent position to play, even though it's not very popular. Also, you've got to keep in mind that Panda is not a, and I'm going to be very critical on this, they're not a good team when it comes down to taking early game fights. They're unprepared, and they have a hard time. They are a team that, given the time to loot up, rotate, get a strong position, and information coming their way, they will be a team to take really good fights. So I would say Panda, seeing what has been happening throughout these first 3 games, try and fix that. Avoid teams as much as possible. Adjust your drop location and your rotational pathing on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and make sure you don't encounter too many teams because they do not enjoy those early game fights. And out of the 2 first games, 2 games actually caused them to die in the first 3 teams. So those are going to be my few improvement points that I'm hoping Panda to actually try and work on throughout these next few days of tournament.
Yeah. Of course, a few things still to look at. And I mean, so far we've been seeing a pretty strong showing, as you've mentioned. You know, the footballers really stepping it up. So I agree. If the teams don't bring, you know, their A-class work in a zone like this, I mean, oh, it is going to be absolutely difficult to make anything of that. But of course, now looking at where the footballers is, they've dropped down over in towards San Martin. So a pretty easy centralized start for them on the map. But of course, now we see the players there for Kanina Power pushing up in towards Ruins. But actually, we also then have the players there from Guns dropping up in alongside there, up in towards El Pozo. Of course, we got another team right there with them. So things are going to get pretty hot and heated, as well as over in towards Monte Nuevo and Ladrillera.
Yep, some big pieces of action are going to be coming on through, but especially R8C and Panda. That's going to be the big fight currently breaking on through. Impala, especially too, going to have 1218 and SDR, Pseudo Esports, going to have that little bit of back and forth action between those teams. We'll see. We'll see what's going to be coming on through of these ones. Because it's Miramar, you got a lot of breathing space. I think that teams should be giving the other teams the respect they deserve, which in a sense you should not be trying to take those early game fights. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. And with, especially with the plane path, just head up with that phase 1 circle shift, you could very easily find some good entry points, right, DK? Like, I'm especially thinking southern side, southeast, even potentially northern side. You might find a few opportunities up there if you're ready towards that location, like the likes of wait, which ones actually? Which compound? I mean, you got the ones where Navi are right now. I'm thinking other ones. Destiny, they also dropped towards Campo Militar. Those are going to be 2 teams that could try and use that location up north. Over to a fight already happening. World of Wonders, recent, one of the new additions from the team that I have not seen last EMEA League. Me taking the 5 versus Batika. Batika given enough time to actually get the first aid kit. Compared to Recent, from why CDK here does not have his first aid kit. So he's going to have to fight with that few little amount of health that he currently has remaining. Hits a lot of great shots onto Batika and have to go for the re-engage. And Recent, despite having low HP, no ways to heal up, he actually wins the fight and gets an absolute punch fiesta right on top of Batika. And that is going to be the first kill of World of Wonders picked up by Mr. Recent himself.
Yeah, that was a good easy claim there, of course. A beautiful strafing right there to avoid the damage. And of course, there we go. The team up against here, up in Albozo, of course, being the players from Next Roya alongside the team from Guns. So definitely, you know, back to what we've seen on Miramar before, of course, with those drop locations. But now we're going to be looking to see how the teams are going to try and rotate out of this. They still have about a minute 25 seconds, minute 20 seconds, somewhere around about there on the clock remaining before the blue zone starts closing in. So that's a really good amount of time for them to, you know, just wrap up their looting phase and move elsewhere to continue potentially if they would want to.
Yeah. I mean, we've got not too much really happening at this stage. So I think as the weeb I am, it's time to talk about anime. So I always got my own segments dedicated to anime at some point. Do you watch any anime, DK?
The closest I got to anime is Pokemon.
Cool. Fair enough. Do you like Pokemon?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a hard transition, man. I mean, yeah, Pokemon pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. If there was, what I would love to see is a Pokemon crossover with PUBG Mobile, right? And instead of having grenades, you have Pokeballs, and you got to catch the enemies. And that would be sick.
Yeah, dude. That would be cool.
I would like that. Yeah,
and instead of weapons, you've got Pokemon to fight.
Exactly. But to be honest, that is a concept, right?
Yeah.
Pokemon X PUBG Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, Pokemon Royale.
I would play that. Play like Pokemon Unknown Battlegrounds. There you go. We got it. We got it, boys. We got a concept. We're selling it. We're expecting big sponsors for our World Championship starting in 2021. There you go. Interesting concept, man. No. The weirdest ideas come from the weirdest place. Back onto it, though. As you said, the blue zone was about to close up in a minute 20. Now that time has gone down. Why am I seeing so many people drop to their death? What? Do you guys? Can't you guys just use your joystick normally? Something going on? Jesus Christ. I think in one game I've seen more players drop to their death than I have in the entire 4 weeks of play of the PMPL Western Europe. You guys got to chill out a little bit, man. You guys are weird out there.
I think it's the excitement, you know, like everyone's just so amped, so hyped up to be here. You know, sometimes they just can't stop themselves. You know, they're like, and then off they go.
Well, we get, man. This is a weird cut. I'm liking it, man. This is a weird one. We're getting there.
Enjoy.
But they do be going. They do be going every once in a while. I agree with that one. World of Wonders, though, inside the Minas del Sur position, is going to try and take a little bit of a rotation. But Hassan is going to spot that one out instantly, and Hassan has been a very clear, redundant name throughout these fights and skirmishes throughout these 4 games today. Though now he's going to be going for the engage. I don't know why Chico has smokes when he could just flush it from a distance, but it seemed like they want to hold on to every single bullet. He's like, please don't do it, homie, please don't. And he just gets Omawa Mushinderu Nani instantly taken on down. That's a kill going the way of NASR. They pick up the car, the muscle car, and they are getting the hell out of here, homie. But you can see on the minimap, World of Wonders, they're trying to sneak around them. They might be trying to get vengeance for their fallen teammate of Enjoy 7.
It might be a little bit late. I mean, if they were a slight bit closer, yeah, I could see that maybe working out. But looking at where NASA has already moved up into, it is going to be pretty tough. Unless, of course, they got like a 15 times magnifying scope or something. But Zessie could bring a little bit of zest to the fight, Tim.
Oh, no. What? I should have known. I was not prepared. But he do be out of there. So he's moving out. Of course, here's the car. And I think that with the information fed over to the rest of his team, he knows he is outnumbered. So he's not going to take that chance. Though, the rest of World of Wonders, by having Zessie in his current position, they can very easily try and close it around NASR. Why is Zessie pushing this in a 1v2? I have no damn clue. Do I like it? I do not at all. But he's still going to do a fair shot. Nate going to get cooked up by Chico. Could he proc it just in time behind that tree, behind that palm tree? Decent nade. Nice damage onto Zesty, down to now 1/3 HP. And he's instantly getting one-tapped by Chico with the AKM. It's instantly a headshot. And World of Wonders will be there to back it up. But Zesty, unfortunately, did go down. Why did Zesty push out without his team being there in the first place? I do not know. But here, DK, Nabo on that hilltop position. If he peeks on over, this push from World of Wonders will be nullified and sent straight back to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Realm or beyond. We don't know how far away that could be, but here we go now. Chico steps up just to welcome the remainder of the World of Wonders into that rotation. But now they also look to be potentially disengaging from this. Chico now just braving it up behind the tree. Nabo steps up, picks up the hit there on Reason. So really good utilization coming out here from NASA. Really liking the way they're moving through this.
Okay, World of Wonders, pro tip. You got a team, use it. I think that's, I don't know what you think, DK. I think that's a 10 out of 10 tip that I'm giving out there, okay? I'm here all week. Feel free to ask me if you guys got other questions like that. But World of Wonders, this is definitely, I'm not a fan of how they're playing this one. He's dropping all this loot in respect to, he knows he's going to go down to like, hey guys, I'll give you something. Please let me go. Like, no, man, that's not enough. We need way more than that. We need an orb, man. You don't have an orb? We kill you. But yeah, World of Wonders, I don't know. Those were weird rotations. Back in the MEA League at the end of 2020, they were a team that normally would be really strong when it comes down to team play. A little bit lackluster on this, at least one game of Miramar, so it's definitely a little bit of an outlier for them. But hopefully they can come back strong in the next few games. Even though Sun HP is still here, but as a one-man army, especially on Miramar, I'm not going to lie, DK, I'm not expecting big things from Sun HP as a one-man army, but you never know. Could have a little bit of a surprise factor brought to the table. The circle's about to shift towards phase 2. Where is it about to take us, DK? If it goes on to a city finish, I would be pretty happy and stoked about that.
Well, it seems like you are going to be pretty happy and stoked.
Oh, this circle sucks. You see, so, okay, compared to a water circle shift, here the entire high ground position terrain is over to the left. You can't even swim in that, okay? Unless you're a mole, and I don't think that, I mean, I think most of the people watching this stream and playing in these games are not a mole. You can't play in that position. So this circle is actually a lot smaller than what it actually looks like.
Yep, they disabled that feature on PUBG. You can't engage the mole mode anymore. That's been taken away. But now Ragnarok, he's looking to just find those heads in towards Panda, who's just waiting down below. So there could be a few potential angles there on towards Katuz. We got Prestige now. Oh, coming in with the hits. Just reminding Katu that regardless of where you go, Rico Infinity will find you and swarm. And that is, of course, exactly what we saw. So one player from Panda down. Few more to go. So a decent start there, but of course, I like the fact that Rico Infinity has moved that far west, but now we see Unique and Navi. Oh, getting caught right in the mix here as Miku now steps right on up, sends down the Milky Way. Of course, now let's see, will Miku be able to control the universe? Mind now, just looking to find that angle. Coming in off the side, Frozen now looking to get the res, but of course now, Navi is moving on in as we see Miku now getting picked on up in the process, but here comes the reinforcements, the cavalry. It's one player, but nonetheless, it could be all they need. As you can see, Old Boy, of course, now coming in from the offside there.
Yep, Old Boy VP's got the perfect off angle. He's going to get naded up. Tiggsy might take a little off tick damage. He does indeed, but on the back end, that's going to be Frozen trying to get the res on his fallen teammates. And Analyst is going to be the one player's priority as he was just about to tick back into the afterlife. It will be brought back from the brink of death. Old Boy going to be back in that buggy, ready to try and close that gap even more. Navi, I'm not going to lie, this was a weird push how they started it, especially using Meku right off the bat, but now you got those two angles which are already strong, but they can't put the nail in the coffin for Unique, and this is hurting them heavily for Navi, because now they're going to give them time. They red back up, Milky Way is back on the board, and they're going to go for the spray. Analyst gets it done through the smoke, and Old Boy takes a big fat L on his forehead as Tixie's trying to close that gap with the M4 on an iron sight with 32 bullets ready to roar it up in the bodies and in the heads of Unique players. Looks like an amazing grenade, and it's perfectly cooked. Chef's kiss. Gordon Ramsay would be proud, as that's going to be Navi completely taken down. They still got one player remaining, but where the hell is he? That's an answer we're going to have next episode, I guess. There he is, Matic. Why is he here? I have no idea.
Join us back for episode 3 to see what happens. But of course, now in the meantime, we're going to be moving up towards Fate as they now pushing a little bit closer on it to World of Wonders. You can see Sun HP just patiently waiting in the shack there in the building, waiting to see how long he can outlast the remaining teams. Of course, he is the only player for the team there. And of course, Ragnarok deciding, why knock on the door if I can just shoot it down?
Don HP is just going to be staying in that building, trying his best to avoid detection. The cool thing, right, is that they do not know this is a one-man army. Though, what I would recommend is Son HP. If I were him, I would take a lot of shots. Reason why you want to try and play mental game with Fate, saying like, I'm ready to take that fight so it doesn't look like I'm alone. They saw him hide, and because of that, they are instantly going to jump to conclusion, oh, he's not willing to take that fight. He must have a man disadvantage up against us, which is why you see Fate currently closed up that position. We saw it back, and I think a prime example is back in PMGC, RRQ Athena having one player in a field finish, and he was taking an insane amount of shots from the center field finish just to try and make teams believe that he was actually as a full team, and that allowed him to actually secure a few extra positioning points and kills because he was trying to be so proactive and especially aggressive. So I think that is on HP something he could have worked on. I understand why he didn't want to, but the moment you're spotted away, you need to take those shots. Otherwise, teams will always try to contest you. Son HP is going to be trying to hide behind that camper van. He's going to be surrounded, and there's no way he can escape. Bloom shot connects on Ragnarok. Instantly, is going to be a headshot onto the... It says Uzi, but that was not a Uzi. That was a barrel. But regardless, they get himself the kill, and that is going to be Fate Esports securing their very first kill of this Miramar game.
Yeah, I mean, another way to do it also is that, you know, fake it till you make it. That's another way of putting in the exact same thing. You know, just yeah, just bring it in. But of course, well, we saw how that one went there for World of Wonder, and what a play that was. But now Suda, not too far away from 4KT. We got Storm just off in the distance, Andrew atop the hill. So definitely an interesting spread coming in there from 4KT. But of course, looking to see whether or not they can condense the positioning they have there. They are pretty split up. Yes, they are kind of trying to play that ridge line, but of course, looking at the rest of the zone, a lot of teams are trying to play that ridge line. Of course, now if you can try and solidify your split there, bring your players a little bit closer, you could benefit from that positional play. But of course, now we look to see where the teams are going to be going as the zone centers up on itself, still being a slight bit inclusive of that in-playable area, that mole section. Of course, now we can see footballers just hugging the edge of that.
Yeah, trying to play around. I was actually going to talk about the position for footballers. It's weird. It's very out of the ordinary. I don't see a team playing like this very often. It's original, but I don't know if I'm a fan of it because the terrain sure being there's a lot of bumps, high grounds, a few rocks, trees, some good terrain to try and hide behind and take some shots from. There's a big chance here, DK, and I want to be very clear. There's a big chance that Circle is going to be moving away from that location, meaning you've got to go downhill, then cross the road. I think is not a good long-term option. Which is why I would say footballers, it might be okay right now, but you need to be very prepared the moment that Circle shifts because you are going to have that leave that position very quickly. Talking about leaving, Toluca might want to try and leave that building because Rico Infinity team got two great angles on two really good high ground positions to play from. So Toluca needs to move away from that position, otherwise nade will be your downfall. And I think that's exactly what Toluca's doing. He wants to move and slip away from that spot because otherwise RIT are going to be a little bit too overzealous to deal with in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, definitely agree with you on that one. But of course, they're going to look and try and see if they can find any of the hits, any of those shots right up into the side there, of course, of Fate. And Ragnar really just quickly managing to pull back in towards the hardcover. But a slight bit of a, I don't know really what that play is coming in there from 1218.
A weird one. That answers the question, right? Okay, we good? Is okay? I'll go with that. I'll go with it was a weird one. There you go. I think so too. They're going to try and move away. They're going to the res, so they are going to be good to move on forward. So can't really say the same for Aimer from Slime 4KT. Reason why you guys can see on your screen, there's not a lot of assistance. There's not many teammates around. So this is not going to be looking too good for Aimer 4KT, and he should get picked up as time goes on. Though the circle going back up north of this current location, team's going to have to try and make sure they try and move forward into that spot. Fidan, M24 in hand, trying to find a few shots from a distance. The utility will come on through from Khalid, and I think because of that, Fidan will be using information, but the smoke does not appear on my screen, so it seems like the smoke bug is going to be here. So Fidan was able to use it for a few seconds, unfortunately so for the opposing side.
Yeah, it's definitely like looking towards what we saw there for 4KT. That is definitely where I was talking about, you know, seeing the team condense. Now, we see a few of the teams already starting to condense as they themselves make their way on through. Of course, the players from Fate here pretty close. Just, oh sorry, Rico Infinity, they've now regrouped. They've realized that there is power in numbers, and of course QTEL looking to make that play, but 12-18 now also just applying that pressure as they come rushing in onto the side here, but a quick response coming in from Ragnar as he picks up the knock. Of course, now this is where we're going to see what TT Sucks will be able to do with this play. It is so close. Right on
down
edge.
below. I don't know if 12-18 really got the information. Why are they not confirming the kills? You're giving information over to the rest of R8T. You need to confirm those kills right here, right now, or otherwise Rico Infinity will be able to capitalize on that extra information. There you go. Thank you very much. Confirm those kills. You got one more to do, and that's on Khalid. Sending the buggy forward, a nice little 360. You know what? I'm going to give that a little bit of respect. But now QTEL, there you go, he gets the info. And that is down to the information that was gathered by the knocked players of Rico Infinity. That would have never happened otherwise. Now they're going to try and make it out of the blue. I think the blue zone might just claim the life of Zakonivor unless he gets a first aid or a bandage last second, which I think he just got bandage. So that, I say bandage, I'm saying it so weird, a bandage. So I said, there you go. That's how you speak proper English. Gets away. Hassan, I have no idea how that grenade did not confirming, but the circle, and I said it right. Coming into this, GK, the circle is going to move away from that western ridge line, from that western cliff, and now you got to cross over the road. Footballists are not going to have an easy entry point in this next circle.
Yeah, you pulled it all the way through, but of course now we can see the players here from Suda displaying their angles. 12-18 also now looking to still play their angles as they're looking to get back up into wood zone. Hassan now of course just waiting on the edge, keeping a very watchful eye on Saif just up ahead. Track 2 now trying to just stay ahead of the damage, but he's just lingering around there, maybe a little bit too long, and he's getting really close to the edge of that blue zone as we can see the blue about to start closing on in. Hassan finding the hits, but it's definitely a super challenging angle to be fighting in.
Yeah, he's going to be challenged big time this time around. He's got to be careful, but I know that, yeah, there you go. Hassan gets picked up. That's the end for an ASR to get eliminated in 12. 11 teams still up and remaining in this lobby. Marmalade, another player that falls down to his death as he jumps out of the car a little bit too early, apparently. So a little bit of an F in the chat for him, guys. We would greatly appreciate that. As I was going to say prestige, but he's gone L, so I don't know how to say this. But prestige.
That's prestige.
Did you just say prestige? Why is it an L then? That's not how you write prestige. You know, okay, it's whatever. It's cool.
Because they ran out of dubs. And all the Fs went into chat, so I mean, you had to choose the next phase.
I like that. No, that is a good dad trick. I'll give that one a juicy. I'll give that one an 8.5 out of 10. There you go. That's what you get. Woo. Take your points and get the head out of my face. Now guns, they're going to be on a pretty decent spot, but they're going to be heavily contested by Kunina Power. Kunina Power Alga, the Horsey boys are going to get involved in this fight. As Freak is going to be the first line of defense, and they are very spread away from each other, but very similar fashion to Kunina Power. This is a 1v1. Rain taking an engage versus Freak. He's got assistance, especially from above. So it would be a little bit of an easier fight coming over to guns, especially because Rain is literally pinned down in this location. He's now engulfed into the blue as the circle shifts heavily up northwest, but they already got himself one player in that spot, even potentially two, I believe. They actually got themselves two positions, two players in that spot. It's going to be Axa and also Pioneer. As Freak, though, is going to be like, no, you get out of my lobby. See you later, man.
That was also like almost like the Mortal Kombat, you know, finish him. As that hit just came on through, picking up Suda in the process. Now it's definitely going to be an interesting zone, centering up once again now up in towards the northwestern side. Kunina Power and the players here from Guns, of course, still going at it, sending those utils back and forth, looking to find the damage. But of course, Kunina Power getting caught on the wrong side of the blue zone. Rain now just managing to break out of that as he gets ready to push a little bit further onwards. But of course, you can see his teammates just up ahead, so a slight bit of a late rotation, but they already had that anchor point. Now we of course look to see what Guns are going to be doing, but they are coming in with one hell of a split.
I like this. I really like this split coming up from Kunina Power, having Flashy Pioneer onto the other side of the road. They're so close they could very easily nade those positions if they want to, so they could directly assist each another, which is like that. I like that split quite a bit. And also it makes up for hard circle shift in case it goes up north or south. It facilitates that rotation across the road, which normally in PUBG Mobile are not some of the easiest parts of the game to really deal with. Another team just gets eliminated in 10th position. Only 9 teams are up now, down to single digits. It's fate. That's one nade. Is looking clean. Is looking close. Will it be enough, though? It does get 1 kill confirmed. Gets a little bit of extra tick damage on the health bar of Leif. He's going to have to go and hide back up in that hole from which he came. As Guns there are looking to strike while the iron is hot. Maybe try and close off that entire fight. This is big because if they clear off this position, they'll have the high ground spot to play from. And if the circle goes somewhat in their vicinity down south across the road, this could be a Guns game to take home for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and Guns already come in blazing, picking up the knocks on it towards Fate. But of course, now we can see the rest of the Fate squad rolling into that zone, crossing through a very, very tricky range, really difficult portion of the map here to try and pull on into. But of course, now Azzy stepping right up in front of the vehicle with his weapon in hand, was sending them right back into the lobby. They weren't wearing their seatbelts, so that's of course why it happened. But now Azzy having a little bit of a repayment there, as we see Lord sending the shots over. But Guns really bringing their gameplay in this match. Already 11 kills. Of course, looking to pick up more. What
a shot coming out from Lord. That's what I call a clean headshot. Patsy headshot Bolter. If you're in India, man, that was clean as can be. As now, Guns, they're feeling good. Like, oh, man, we just got the cleanest headshot ever in that moment. We're going straight for the circle to reposition on where Ralph currently is standing. That is why it's spread like this. Despite being risky, can somewhat pay off big time. And Ralph now facilitates the information by being the anchor point for the team and also by gathering intel that they feed directly to the remaining players on his team. This is an amazing showcase of information gathering, communication, and also good rotations and map awareness. This is the Guns that I want to see starting the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1, because that is one of the best rotations you could have done at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, Guns were consistent from the first day of league play on the PMPL Arabia. Now they're stepping back into form, bringing the gameplay we've seen. Now, of course, they're turning their attention across the zone, looking to the edge, looking to pick up a few points in the process, of course. Now they start rushing up onto the side of Kanina Power. Already quite a bit of damage being put into Kanina Power as they get sent off into the lobby at the hand of the Guns team. But now Destiny still up ahead, Unique as well as Godsend. 5 teams in the mix, looking to fight it out for that chicken dinner.
Oh, a few baps coming out from Guns as they got to try and make it open ground. Not going to be too easy of a push, but they still got Ralph. That's going to be the eye of Sauron of the lobby, the bird's eye view granted to the rest of his team. And with that mini 14, I am not sure if he's got a lot of bullets left, but he's going to be spam triggering that mini 14 as much as he possibly can. So even if he doesn't connect any damage, just to keep the mental pressure on these teams to make sure that you move away from that dip, you're dead. You move anywhere away from that spot, you guess it, you're dead. Now, Reznov knocked away. Good use of utility coming out from Lord. He's trying to close that gap, get close and personal with the reminder players of Godsend, especially here. It's just going to be Reeves, the Irish god himself. But Freak, he's the one. He's going to be taking matters in his own hands. Wait, okay, he's just going to be trying to pull a little 360 there. But Reeves got picked up by Ralph regardless. So Freak just got saved as now Ralph is trying to close that gap onto Destiny. And he's right above them as Mind is trying to play the long term and to steal away that second place.
Oh, man, this is an absolutely insane play coming in here from Guns. And they're just showing up with the aggression,
18.
The strategic positioning. Here they go, stepping up into Destiny. Beast gets knocked and out. Mozaro just up ahead. Come on, get it.
Get the 20 kill bomb. Here you go. The nade's going to get cut up by Ralph. He's getting real close. He's going to go and make it explode. He goes down himself. He's going to get confirmed. That's the kill for free to Destiny. What are you doing, Ralph? The jump shot comes on through, but Mozaro has to reload. And that not only is that a win coming on through from Guns with some of the best rotations to close off that game. That is a 20 kill bomb game. 35 points come into their name. That is one of the most dominant performances I have ever seen of a team. And to close it off on Miramar especially, that is amazing. And we are not even into the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1. I am hyped up for Guns. And I've only seen 4 games of this team. And I'm already sold. This team is the complete package.
Yeah, I mean, they were consistent like this, like I've said, through all 4 weeks of the PMPL Arabia. Absolutely
This good every
insane.
time?
Yeah.
How?
I don't
What
know.
the hell?
I don't know.
These guys are nutty.
The focus,
Okay,
bro.
right. From how they play there, I'm going to put them in my top 3 for PMPL EMEA Championship. They are that good. And I've only seen 4 games. That's to say, to surprise me in 4 games is not easy. Because I got a very high standard normally. But this was an amazing showcase of what they're able to do.
Yeah. And that is just a little taste of what is to come. But I mean, we've seen really strong performances come in across the board. I mean, Guns stepping up to the plate in this match. But I mean, I'm waiting to see the remaining teams do exactly the same. I mean, they are here for a reason, right? They've qualified in from their respective PMPLs. Right? It was a real long road to go down, and of course, they've made it all the way up to here. So I'm so excited to see who is going to be the team to step up next.
Good question. I think Destiny could be one of those. I think that they had a pretty decent game. Very passive, but they're a team that on Miramar especially like to just get some consistent positioning points rather than trying to frag it out. Unique also some decent points. I mean, they were looking pretty decent in their positions. But one thing that I'm seeing, especially on the right side of my screen, what is going on with Na'Vi? I am very surprised that I am seeing very little team play coming out from these guys. And this is very out of the ordinary because we already talked about this, DK. These guys have played back in the EMEA League that was at the end of last year. They also play themselves in the PMGC if it was the league stage, a 1-month tournament to get themselves to the PMGC finals in Dubai. They participated in there, and they did extremely well. I think Tiggsy was the player that I was expecting more from. I was a little bit surprised by his lack of performance then. But Meku, Old Boy, Matic, all just did so well back in Dubai. And it seemed like they went back to square one. I'm not seeing the synergy. I'm not seeing the strong team play. I'm not seeing as good rotations. I'm surprised. This is not the Na'Vi that I've known to love and enjoy watching. This is a completely different beast. And not in the good term, sense of the term, I would say. This is weird. I'm expecting to see them perform really well tomorrow, unless, and this is just me speculating something, unless this is Na'Vi hiding their strats, getting information on teams around them, to get a good way to start their adventure in the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1 by avoiding gathering too much information for the other teams while also getting that information about teams around them in the lobby so they can prepare as much as possible. That is something that I've seen teams do in the past. They could try and do it here, but still, this is a weird show up from Na'Vi. I was expecting and I'm hoping for a lot more, and I don't think I'm the only one that's saying that right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said, earlier in today, I've seen Na'Vi perform really strong in past matches. So this is quite a bit surprising, just looking at the way that they're going through, the matches here today. But I mean, it could be, like you said, maybe they just are hiding their strats to get, the upper hand, to get the gist on the opponents. I mean, it could be like one of several things. So it is going to be quite difficult for us to guesstimate exactly what that is. But I gotta say though, today has been absolute fire. Looking at how the teams have been going through the matches here today, with this beautiful step up coming in from Guns in that last match. Oh, dude, it was just so beautiful. On point magic.
It was great. I mean, 20 kills on Miramar, especially, like, normally it's a map about rotations against strong positions. Like, they were fragging out since early game until late game. 20-point bomb in terms of kills alone is insane. I have yet to see, especially with the new rule sets, a 40-point bomb. In the sense you get yourself 15 points off a chicken dinner and 25 kills. I have yet to see that happen. But man, 20 kills, just so you guys are aware, 20 kills is like a third of the lobby got killed by one team. A third. Do you know how insane? A third of 60 players is insane. And I'm just really happy because you very rarely see them. And when they happen, it's such a good thing to see. And most of the time when you get 20 kills, I mean, you closed off with a win, right? So 35 points in one game alone. Now, those are the points you needed to try and catch up to the best teams. And as I say, talking about catching up, we're going to have the answer, actually, because I don't know if it's possible for you to add these standings because we just got them. And we got some big changes of pacing coming out from a few teams. So when you're ready, we can check it out because this is a big shift of gear for a few of the teams.
Now, well, without further delay, here we go, jumping straight into it. Right, so of course, here we are. What a change it is. Of course, looking at the top of that leaderboard, we haven't seen a big considerable change coming in for the footballers, only bringing in 4 points in that last match. But of course, we see a nice, a beautiful bit of step up coming in. Team Unique holding on to their placement for the time being, but we see Guns, of course, now just coming out from 11th place before this match, all the way up into third.
They had 18 kills before this game in, what was that, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. One game, the 8th game, boom, they more than double it. They actually outdo their performances of their past 7 games in one game alone. They had 43 points total, and now they're up to a total of 78. Just 7 points shy away from Unique in second spot. Now, that is how you catch back up. I think they're also having maybe a hard time to be a little bit more consistent than they used to, because it's a new lobby. They have to adapt and they have to prepare before the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1, which is what this tournament's going to be great at achieving for them. So big step up coming out from them. I really love to see that coming on through. And Unique too. I mean, there's some decent results coming their way. But then back to it once again. Man, Navi in 15th place. I'm sorry to be a negative Nancy, but I have to. Navi, what's going on? Something weird. And Fate, I mean, to steal the words of DK, truly encountering their own fate, which is to be in last place, apparently, because they have been having a horrendous day. Hoping it's just because they had a bad day. I'm hoping this is not the normal kind of results we can expect from Fates. I'm hoping to see a lot more from them at the very end of the day. And Slime 4KT, if I can excuse them for something, is the fact that this is a very new lobby. Typically, they would be very closed up in the African scene that you've been covering for a very long time, DK. And this is their first taste. Very interesting. The first taste of international play. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time to get used to all these different kind of metas that they never really encountered before. All these rotations, all these drop spots, all these late game finishes and how teams play. They need to adapt to that. So Slime 4KT, I'm not expecting big things in this Ometal Pro League, but after this training period, this preparation period, I'm hoping to see a lot more from them once hitting the actual official PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1 DK.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. I mean, you can see from the way they are moving through the maps, they are putting in that effort. You know, they're trying their best to kind of, you know, cope with what is being thrown their way. So good effort so far. But of course, looking to see them, you know, kind of just get the better of that and, you know, find a way to maybe utilize it, you know. Make a good play from that, you know, bring a strategic maneuver from that. So definitely going to be seeing, keeping an eye on them, hoping to see the boys from back home performing well. But of course, on that, we are going to be ending it off here for today. We're going to be saying good night for now. Of course, we're going to be back right again tomorrow as we continue with our final day coming in with the Ometal Pro League. And quite a bit of action should be following soon. So stay safe and see you guys back again tomorrow.